So good morning, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Let's start on our topic where we left out. So yesterday we discussed onto the resource management as well as onto the uh, communication. These are the two vital roles which plays a major in the project, any of the project management activities. So
Sorry,
now,
we are not able to see the screen.
no, I'm sharing. I have not shared. I have not shared you. Today we'll be discussing onto the another very interesting as well as very critical part of the project, which is nothing but the risk. So, what do you understand by risk? Can anyone knows about risk? We foresee every day in our day-to-day lives as well. We come across some instances under the risk and with how we'll avoiding those risks. So anything?
Sir, by taking the appropriate precautions,
Now, what is the risk?
it might affect our project delivery times.
Now,
It's,
forget about project management. Forget about project management. I'm not talking.
it is unwanted some activity which can handle to move ahead.
Okay.
Potential and unwanted activity.
Okay.
Some activities which can.
Any other guys?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
In general term, I can say first thing you're not doing something important which you're supposed to do. Second thing, doing things in a wrong way.
No.
Or maybe you're doing something which may lead to something negative.
No. That's not correct.
Okay.
So, okay. To answer everyone's question, risk is an unforeseen event, right? It's just like you are going on a highway, right? You will not unforesee, like someone will met with an accident, right? That's a risk. There's an event which is hampering your to move forward. Similarly, in the project, there are so many risks are there, so many uncertain events which you will foresee, right? And this will stop your progress of your project, and it may lead to disasters as well. Sometimes what will happen? Project will crash, or project will stop. The customer will say, "I don't want to proceed with you," because since we have not handled, we have not seen the risk, and we have not handled the risk properly. That has led to the destruction of the project, right? In another plain example, if you are traveling somewhere, right, and by God forbid someone met with an accident, are you able to complete your travel? No, right? So similarly, this is kind of thing. It's kind of an accident which has happened. So before that, we need to take, as a project manager, you need to ensure that the risk has been taken care. It has to be handled in an appropriate fashion, so that it may not lead to your a stoppage of the project, or any of the milestones you are not able to complete. That is called a risk. Okay, let's talk more about on the risk. So risk, when we will plan, we'll plan the risk during the planning stage of the project, right? When you're starting the project, once the project initiated, then you'll start thinking, right? What might be the risk you might foresee during the entire during the execution mode, during the monitoring and control phase, and then the closing phase as well, right? What are the risks you will see that, so which will hamper your project, which will not lead to proceed forward. Those are the risk which you need to identify, and you need to plan it, so that these risks can be mitigated. If some of the risk can be mitigated, some of the risk can be there are two types of risk. One is a risk mitigation plan, and then another contingency plan. So these are the two things that you need to take care of that. And at the same time, you need to see you need to evaluate what will be the impact of your risk, whether it is a high impact, low, or a medium impact. And and also you need to evaluate the score of the how will you know the risk is the impact of the risk is high. This will be calculated based on your score, priority, and there's another one more thing. So if the score of the risk is greater than 27, then you need to have a contingency plan. That means the risk has already occurred, right? So that part you need to you need to prepare a contingency plan. If the score is less than 27, then you need to you can plan for mitigation as well as contingency plan. So those are those. Okay, let's talk on those more on the things. So what you have to do during the planning phase, you need to project planning phase, you need to identify the risk, plan for the risk management, then you need to identify the risk, then you need to perform the qualitative analysis and the quantitative analysis, right? And then for those risks, you need to have a proper risk response. And then those risks, whatever the risk responses are there, for those risks, you need to implement those risks. Means you need to assign those risks to the respective team member and ensure as a project manager the risks are getting addressed on time without delaying further. If the delay has happened, it is a job of a responsibility of a project manager to get that addressed. If it is not getting addressed, this may lead to a problem. Then once it is done, then you need to monitor those risks. Those risks are not appearing again and again. Okay, let's go another step. So this is what risk management is the vital in the success of the project, right? Because what it says, if you are not taking care of the risk, right, it may lead to it will crash your project, or you will not be able to proceed forward. The project will get hampered. As an efficient project manager, so you need to evaluate the risk. Risk is every time you should be on top of top of the project, so that you can evaluate the risk, identify the risk. First is you need to identify the risk, what might be occurring, right, during the planning phase. So my project plan is not getting signed. That is also one of the risk on time. So because you will not be able to proceed for the execution phase. If your resources are not in line, or resources are not management has not provided the resources on time, there are some critical resources in the project. For those resources, if it is not onboarded on your project, then it is a risk for you that you need to assume. You need to prepare that risk. For that, you need to have a response for that. How you are going to mitigate the risk? How you are going to prepare a contingency plan? Right? What will be the impact on your project if that resource is not there onboarded on your project, or if your hardware software is not onboarded on the project? So each and every activity you need to plan it during the execution phase. What the risk might be occurring, right? So when you're the unit testing, during the UAT, if the bugs are coming more and more, right? That is another risk. You need to have that. If the bugs are more, what should be your contingency plan? What should be your mitigation plan, right? Because since if there are lots of defects coming during UAT, the UAT will not get signed off, and further what will happen? You will not be able to move to production, and you will not be able to get the sign off. Once if it is the sign off is not happen, then what the amount was supposed to get after signing of the anything, it will impact on your finances. That's the impact. That's how you need to think of. Is it clear? Does anyone to say anything?
No.
Okay. So for same thing, it goes, what will be our input criteria? What will be what are the tools and technologies which you use to assess the risk, to calculate the risk, and then what will be our output plan, right? So a project charter, that's the main important thing for any of the activity. Project charter is required, because that's where you get the details on your project. And you need to have the scope will be there, then broad level of the scope, what are the amount, all the details, financial details, stakeholder details, everything will be present, and the high level very on a detailed high level project plan will be there, schedule will be there, all those details, right? And then next onto the project management plan. So it contains all of the components, right from all of the knowledge areas what we have seen, right? Scope, schedule, quality, then you have resources, then communication, all those details. These are all the components should be part of the project plan. Then stakeholder, next is on the stakeholder document, stakeholder register. The stakeholder register is more important, right? Because you'll be having should be able to map the module. If there are 10 modules are there in the project, some of the stakeholders are more concerned on that module, so that you can map those stakeholder against that module. It will be easier for you, so that you can focus. Okay, this stakeholder is mapped to this one, and then you can any questions or any queries which are coming across during the execution phase or during your testing phase, anything, you can approach the stakeholder, and you can take his valid inputs, and then you can if you got stuck, then you can move forward, right? That's why the stakeholder register. And same goes with the enterprise environmental factors. This plays a major role in the risk management, because it has depend on your political awareness, cultural awareness. This also you need to take care of that properly. So if you are executing the projects internationally, right? So you need to aware of their culture, and you need to aware of the political awareness. What might be having an impact on your project, if unforeseen it happens, and also you need to see that climatic conditions, the resources, if there's something major disaster, if continuously there are 10-15 days rain is going to happen. If you are executing the project in somewhere in Kerala, or where every time throughout the year some of the rains will be coming, right? Storm will be coming. So those things you need to have that. So you should be aware of that enterprise environmental area and organizational process assets, right? Those are the things. And then how you do that, how the inputs from these inputs, how will you able to what?
I'm sorry to interrupt you. This is organization process asset. It is talking about regarding the previous project, maybe having the similar kind of risk that will help.
Sorry.
Organization process asset.
Ah.
This is the what are the risk in the previous project? Based on that, we can
anything lessons learned are there. You can input. You can take the input.
So that organization process asset will help.
Anyway, throughout the project, when you are executing any of the project, if you are having executed similar lines of similar set of project earlier in your organization, you can always go and refer the lessons learned, and you can see that what are the risks that they have captured. So you can take those inputs as well.
Okay, fine. Okay.
So expert judgment, data analysis, stakeholder analysis, and meetings. These are the technical tools you will use, or to capture the risks. And finally, what will be your output? Your output will come into the risk management plan. That's the end result. Okay. Project and charter, that's what I said. It will specify high level of project risk. All components I told you, from integration till your communication, all components of the projects, and the stakeholder register, enterprise and factor, organizational processes. These all you will do during your planning set of the project. So this one. So in output, the risk management plan, what it contains, the methodology or the approach, how you are going to handle the risk, okay, and the roles and responsibilities, who is going to work on the risk. Let's say on the team of 10 members are having, a 15 members are having, if the on the roles risk response, you will assign the task to that resource. So what is his roles and responsibilities, that will be having that. And with that help, with the help of that R&R, you should be able to close the risk, right? And for every project, you need to have a budget for the risk also. They'll calculate, they'll put that, okay, some amount of risk, you need to keep a budgeting. Timing of the risk management processes. So when you are going to have the what are the risk that is there, what is the duration, when is going to be closed, right? So you need to mention the target date, when the risk has occurred, when the risk are going to address, so that you can whether it is, are you going to close within the project timelines, or you are going to be close there, because there are some risks will be there that you can it will not have an impact, but you can close after the project as well. So that you need to mention that. Then you need to categorize the risk, right? High level, high priority risk, medium and low. These are the categories that you can mention that. Then that's what another is stakeholder risk appetite. How the stakeholder, what is his capacity, how much he can handle. Because there are some stakeholders are there, they don't want to see any kind of a risk, if the risks are there, then they will get jittery. Then you will see the definitions of risk probability and impact. Probability, like, and impact. These are the two things, based on this, you will be able to get the risk score, where you will be performing qualitative analysis and the quantitative analysis. So we'll go in detail about that. Any questions, any doubts on this? Am I going fast?
Can you repeat the stakeholder risk appetite?
Stakeholder as appetite means, see, I am a stakeholder. I don't want to see any, if there is risk are there, because there are some stakeholders are there, they can, okay, risk is there, okay, no problem, we will handle it. Don't worry. But there are some stakeholders who say, well, as soon as they see risk, they'll get jittery.
Okay.
They'll get their BP will get boiled down.
So then कितना भी boiled down हो या ना हो, उससे क्या, लेकिन का risk तो risk है ना.
Risk as well, then see, it depends on the people, right? At the end, he is also a human being. He don't want to see any risk. I don't want to see any risk in my project. So how you are going to control it as a PM? You need to manage that stakeholder.
Okay.
So risk breakdown structure, and this is how it is: schedule of the risk, cost risk, and the scope risk. So in the schedule, what are the things risk you might occur? Just given an example, right? Estimation, poor estimation, requirements are not uncertain, requirements are volatile, right? So, and then subcontractor, vendors, right? And the costing, lack of funding for project customer, you have asked to execute the project, but there are no fundings. What will you do? Then inflation uncertainties. This is in terms of the dollar value, right? So let's say when you have signed the project, the dollar value was 75. Now, what is now the today's dollar value is 83 rupees. There's a difference of almost 8 rupees. So it will you will be under a loss if there are huge inflations. Correct? And labor rate changes as and when we are saying if we are taking any subcontractor, right? For initially he has agreed, okay, 50,000 per month. After some point of time, he said he has changed his rate. I says, no, earlier I was providing the resources 50K. Now I want my resource on 100K.
So I think he cannot say like this, sir, because we have already agreed with him, right? Agreement is there.
See, sometimes it happens, right? Because if the resource is critical, so what? Let's say it's if you are dealing with the vendors, right? Subcontractors, right? What will happen? The parent company, if he's getting more money, right? He will say, boss, he will give you notice to you saying that I'm giving notice for my resource. I'm going to pull out from your project. This so and so resource.
No, smells. I think he's already have an agreement with us. He cannot change his rates.
No, he can do that.
No. That means we can blacklist him. Like we can kick off our company, during the blacklist in our company.
No, there are.
He's a normal subcontractor. He's a vendor. He cannot say like this to the parent company.
See, there are instances are there. I have seen that because in my practical life I have observed when I was executing the project. But there are some critical resources. What will happen? They have pulled the resources back. So there are some instances are there. We cannot even though he's your preferred partner. So you might have agreed. Okay, I will resource will come on 50K. Or what will happen in some other instances if you need another resource, right? So you have budgeted your resource will come on 50K. You on board, but when you ask for the from subcontracting, if you have some critical resource, he will say, "But instead of 50K, I will charge 100K." What you will do at that time?
I think this is no, not possible because he is our subcontractor. He's our vendor.
That doesn't mean that you cannot that is not valid point. I will tell you why.
We can legalize him. We can sue him because he's already had the agreement with us. Right?
No, see, I will tell you one thing. Let's say I am working for me. You have signed the contract with me for 50K, right? Fine, for 1 year. So he will deliver for 1 year for you, no problem. So let's say you need another resource from company X, right? And that resource is costing you 100K. What will you do? He will say, boss, I need 100K for that resource.
I'm sorry because I came from the this telecom background. We are working with a multiple vendors. Vendors, we have not faced any single issues like this because vendors is bound to obey our instructions. Sometimes we reduce his whatever agreed payments terms. That also he says okay, sir, no problem.
I'm talking about. I'm giving one scenario. Let's you have it does not matter. Look, any vendor, you will supply any resource for you for that particular period, for that particular amount. It cannot happen because the resource will vary based on his experience, based on his criticality factor. The amount will vary. So let's say today a junior resource is costing 50K. It doesn't mean a senior resource also you want for 50K.
The project requirement, we want junior engineer only. We don't need a senior.
You that is your criteria, right? For you, just okay. There are some projects are there because there are some niche skills are there. For those niche skills also you want 50K. See, let's say I'm mine. I'm a niche skill guy. I'm a data science expert, right? And one guy is a .NET guy. So can you compare .NET guy and a data scientist? The salary will be same.
No, Mr. Smile, because in our plan during our planning, we already finalized the resource, the expertise, everything. Yeah.
Correct.
That's what I'm telling. He can later on, if that resource is gone on vacation, he is bound to replace with him same expertise.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. What I'm asking is the scenario you have planned for the resources, right? Then there are some instances during the execution phase. There are some critical niche, critical phase for which niche skill is required, right? For that niche skills, you might have budgeted 75K, something like that. Okay, and when you go to a vendor, what will happen? Vendor say, boss, this is a niche skill. I'm not getting in the market. I'm getting on a higher price. I will charge you this much. So what will you do?
Then we had to go through our CR process, right? Then
Why CR process you have to go?
because costing will change, right?
Costing is changing internally to you, not to the company, right? Not to the stakeholder.
Okay.
Not to the stakeholder. Why CR? This is not a CR process. So you need to absorb some of the costs or some of the risk. That is a risk for you. So you need to plan for that risk. I'm saying that.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, you need to plan for that risk. And then next is the scope and the what might be occurring. These are some of the scenarios I have just captured. You know, it might scope creep might happen. So then new technology. I said new some niche skill is there. For niche skill, what are the new technologies coming? Then for that, that also you need to plan for that. Government rules and regulations are changing. If they are changing, so all of a sudden the rules have changed for the government. What will you do? That also you need to plan for that. These are some of the areas. This is how you need to categorize your risk. I'm just giving on the each and every phase, like schedule phase, cost, perspective, scope, and then similarly onto the resource. These are everything. You need to plan like that. Clear, right?
We got it. Yeah.
There should be more risk, like quality risk, something like that.
Quality means if you're not maintaining, yeah, that's what I've given an hypothetical example. You can every phase you can capture the risks.
Okay, fine.
Every knowledge area you can capture the risk. Your quality, because if the schedule variance is not up to the mark, right? Or your effort variance is going high, then what should be your risk? That is also a risk for you. So everywhere you need to plan. Each and every knowledge areas you need to plan. For risk also you need to plan properly. Risk within a risk. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes risk is always the more the risk you take, the more the benefit for you. That doesn't mean you take all the risk on the project, and so risk is good for the project. So that way you will create an opportunity.
Smile by if team members are not perform properly, that is also risk, no?
Obviously, that is because it will not anything which is hampering to the project is a risk.
Mr. Smile, what type of projects is having more risk usually?
And see, it's not like that. Any type of project has having a risk. Every project will be having a risk. So there are some critical projects are there, like those are where you can see healthcare domain projects, or you can say refinery where rich domain experiences are required. Those kind of thing, it will have a lot of risk.
Yeah, I think migration projects and all. Yeah,
migration projects are there, and then support projects, right? Support projects does carry a lot of risk.
So how to reduce risk to proper manage project.
How to reduce risk means you can't reduce risk. You can plan for the risk, and you can risk. See, you cannot reduce risk. You need to plan for the risk, and then you need to mitigate the risk. You need to have a contingency plan. You need to have the mitigation plan. How you can avoid the risk, right?
At the time of beginning is project.
You can avoid the risk. How you can transfer the risk, right?
So we have to plan at the beginning of the project.
Correct. At the beginning of the project, you need to plan. But that doesn't mean it will not come during execution phase. During execution phase also, the risk will be coming. During your monitoring control also, it will come, the risk, right? So those are the risks. Every time you need to be on top of the project. So, and unless and until you are not getting involved in the project, that is, as a PM also is a risk. If the PM is not handling the project, right? That is also a risk.
Yes, he does not perform properly.
Correct. Because the project has been failed. Or you are supposed to, you are not able to deliver the project on
That
time.
is major risk.
It's a major risk, correct. That risk who will be capturing? Program manager will capture that risk. At the organization level, he will the risk will be there.
Exactly.
So you need to identify the risk, and the risk. So when you are implementing the risk, what is the benefit we will be getting? So these are the inputs, everywhere. I told you, in each and every phase, the schedule phase, cost management plan, risk management plan, resource management plan, risk management plan, scope baseline, schedule baseline. All these are the inputs for you. What are the areas that we have covered so far, right? Those are all from every area. You need to pick. You need to understand. This might can happen. This might can happen. This might can happen. As a project manager, you need to start thinking of that. You need to do a lot of brainstorming, right? Data gathering, brainstorming. You have to have a checklist available. Then do interviews with people to identify the risk, to capture the risk. Then for root cause analysis. If the same risk is repeating again and again, why you need to get down to the risk. You need to get an RCA for that, so that you can avoid that risk. You can transpose the risk, or you can transfer the risk, right? Then assumption and constraint, and then SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis, we discuss strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. This is also another technique, to we can capture the risk. What will be the strength of the weakness? It's kind of a box. You'll write in one quadrant, there is strength. In another quadrant, it will be weakness, W. Another third quadrant will be opportunity, and fourth quadrant will be threat. So against that thing, you will mark the numbers. Okay, for this thing, I have 10 inputs which are strength having, 4 inputs which are having the weakness, 5 inputs which is belong to opportunity, and threat, another 2-3 areas where I can find the threat. That's how you come across the SWOT analysis. Based on that SWOT analysis, you will prepare the risk score. Clear? Then output will be your risk register, risk report, project documents and updates, issue log, assumption log. Everywhere the risk has already occurred, right? Then the risk has converted into issue. Issue just like it not happen. So in order for the issue to happen, the risk has to be handled properly. If the risk has not been taken care of that, then it has converted the risk into the issue. Clear? Okay. I told you that from all the input will be from all your knowledge areas. You need to plan, you need to capture those kind of risk. These are some of the, pestle, political, economic, social, technological, legal, environment. These are the things. Output of the risk we discussed, right? The assumption log, issue log, and lesson learned register. Then you need to have the PM has to minimize the level of uncertainty. Qualitative analysis. For a qualitative analysis in the proper, what is the, how many times there is risk occurrence, number of times the risk is occurring, same risk occurring again and again. What is the impact? Then you need to perform the root cause analysis for that. How we can able to reduce the level of uncertainty of the risk. And PM has to as a project, as the job of a project manager, he need to focus on the high priority risk, because that's where it is causing. It will impact on your critical path of your project, and which in turn lead to schedule delay, and you will not be able to meet the timeline. To perform the qualitative analysis, same again, we have to have what are the inputs, the tools and technologies, and the outputs. To have the assumption log, right? Risk register, stakeholder register, enterprise identifier factor, EF, and then OPS. These are the inputs for your to perform the qualitative and risk analysis. Sources of risk, using the risk breakdown structure from how you can, those we have seen in earlier slide, how we can able to break down the scope from each and every knowledge areas and then capture that. And project phase, which phase it is getting, whether it is into the planning phase or into the execution phase or onto your monitoring and control phase or in the closing phase. Sometimes closing phase also will be having the issues or risk might be associated, like customer is not providing the sign off or your resources not getting disembarked. That is also another risk that you need to capture that. Quality assessments, that also another part. One brother asked, right? Can we have a risk onto the quality? Yes, you can. You need to capture that quality assessments as well. From quality also, and then the risk probability and impact assessment. So because if you are having the risk like number of risk same occurring, the probability is high. Get every time the risk is getting high, it will be impacting on your cost, schedule, and quality. Clear? Any questions?
Okay.
Is it going above your head or you are able to catch up?
Can you just any example of risk probability?
Probability in the sense like you will calculate the number of times the risk is occurring and the impact. That's the probability. Let's say, for example, your code, every time whenever you are developer, he fix the code. When you go and test it, right? Again, the same bug comes. Right?
So,
And what is the impact? So every time the same kind of bugs are coming again and again, right? And then a
So-
number of times, then that's you need to find out the root cause.
So we give some value rating on this.
Pardon? Yes, we do. We get the value.
Okay,
Yes.
so in 1 to 5 like this.
No, there will be a risk score. Probability will be calculating based on the impact and number of occurrence, right? You will get the number of times. It's a high impact, low impact, and medium impact, and then number of occurrence. Then you will get the risk score.
Okay.
Based on that risk score, you will be getting the preparing the mitigation plan and the contingency plan. So, which will be covering in the later part.
No, but sir, what a difference, the qualitative and the quantitative. Where is the probability you are giving some value and we are measuring the percentage of the probability is high.
Qualitative, right? Qualitative in the sense like the number of times the risk is coming again and again. You get the probability of getting.
Okay.
Yeah, number of times. And then the quantitative is like based on the impact, like high impact, low impact, and those are the things. Which will come under the quantitative. Now we are covered under the qualitative. Let's talk on to the yes, yes, Farid. Farid wanted to say something.
I want to say, Ismail Bhai, is there
Yeah.
any risk level measurement? Is there? You were saying
Yes, yes.
something in between 27, so I can see any chart in that. Like,
Yeah, I'll come. I will come to you. I'll come.
okay, okay.
See, I told you, right? Urgency of the risk, proximity of the impact, how you are able to manage, control, whether you are able to control the risk, detection of the risk. These are all part of the qualitative analysis. So urgency of the risk, how important, what is the priority of the risk? Proximity of impact. Now, to which level the risk is getting impacted, and whether you are able to manage the risk or not, and what will be the outcome of the risk, where and which phase you are able to detect the risk. These are the kind of thing to get the data for the qualitative analysis. So this is I call the risk matrix. This is the one is on the left hand side. You will find the probability, right? So that's why very low, low, medium, high, very high. This is how you will get the probability of the risk. How it is getting.
So what do you mean by green and red?
Green means there is not very low. These are the risk, associated on the risk matrix. The risk is very high.
Okay.
Even though your risk is low here, but the impact will be very high.
Mhm.
This is the impact, and then
Okay.
see, one is a risk matrix. How you will calculate based on the probability and the impact. My risk is very low, right? But impact is very high. So the number will change. Let's say if you are targeting 0, if it is targeting 1, but risk impact is 9, high impact is 9. I'm just giving a hypothetical example. My number will be 9. Risk matrix is 9, like that. You get the score of the risk. So
X is nothing but X. X is nothing but a.
X is nothing but impact, and Y is nothing but probability.
I see.
So you see this is how you'll get that. If you're talking about 3 dimensions, bubble chart. That's how you put that. Then you will get the risk matrix. So assigning the numerical priority. I mean, you will assign the ratings for all the individual risks. Based on that rating, you will analyze your decision. Then some of the risk, you see that as a priority, you reprioritize again. Then quantitative analysis. Same quantitative analysis, it goes all your inputs, then your tools and techniques, and the output. In order how you can able to get the we have seen qualitative analysis. Qualitative analysis, it comes with the probability and the impact, and then the quantitative analysis will see that in details, and based on your cost estimate, cost forecast, scope baseline. These are all the input. These are all the inputs for your project. Project management, quantitative analysis. In order to find out the quantitative analysis, where are the things which will get the value, right, for quantity. So on the risk management plan, the scope management plan, schedule baseline, cost baseline, right? If these baselines are changing, right, then it will have an impact on your on the project. That's where you need to capture the risk. So you are able to understand the qualitative and quantitative. You're able to get a big quantitative. We are talking about on the cost perspective, whereas qualitative we are talking about on the impact and a number of defects which are getting. Quantitative we are talking about on the what will be my cost if I'm getting a lot of risk associated with based on the qualitative. That qualitative have an impact onto the quantitative. The quantitative is on will be taking care of the only on the cost perspective, because its cost is getting associated with that risk. The scope baseline is changing, right? That your cost will change. Schedule is changing, right? Again, it will your project schedule is getting extended, right? Your cost will change, and the cost baseline initially you have agreed for $100,000. Now it has come down to less than or greater than. Again, it's a risk for you. So how will you do that? Basis of estimates. And then the cost estimate, cost forecast, which you will get it from the qualitative, from the quality, where you do the schedule variance, effort variance, budgeted at cost. Those we have learned, right? Those details, everything. Milestone, if you are skipping on the milestone, so then the project has been extended. Resource requirement, I told you, we discussed earlier on the resource requirement. If the resource requirements are changing, if you need at certain point of time, you need a niche skill resource, that when requirement has been changed for you, it is going to cost. Risk register, risk report, and schedule forecast. These are the these are the inputs for your quantitative risk analysis. Based on this, you need to have the analysis. Based on this, why we do quantitative analysis? To ensure that my cost of the project is not getting impacted. To mitigate that, what do I have to do that? Or if something already occurred, what will be my contingency plan? Is it clear? Because one of the brother, he asked, right, what is the difference between the qualitative and quantitative?
The only difference is that I just came to understand from you. The qualitative is just like the impact and the probability, which can be like a cost or Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
I will tell you, qualitative analysis we do to get the risk probability, right? Based on that
Yeah.
risk probability, it has impact onto your cost. That is associated with the cost.
Right, right, right. Now it's a link. It has link, huh?
Yeah, everything is a link.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Understood.
the data gathering, interviews, interpersonal and team skills, facilitation, these are all the tools and techniques that we perform for qualitative to get the qualitative risk analysis. See, example which is the risk one is with a probability of 50%. This is may lead to delay and increase the cost by $1,500. Risk two with a probability of 25% may save cost by $1,000. Then what will be the expected monetary value? So if you see this one, monetary minus $500 means, well, that means the risk has been delayed or increased. Can anyone able to correlate on this?
Yes.
Example.
This is talking about the cost is going the loss of 500 from the. So
See,
it is a.
the risk is like what is the one risk number one is risk one is probability of 50% may lead to if the number of times the issues are getting right, risk is getting frequently 50%, and which is if that is every 50% of the time your risk is getting analyzed or risk is captured, you are captured the risk, and which is causing delay in the project. When the delay of the project, what is going to happen? You are going to increase the cost by $1,500. The cost is getting increased to $1,500, right? And another scenario where the probability is 25%, but you are able to save $25,000. $1,000 you are able to save. With a delay, with a less probability of risk, you are able to save cost by $100,000. So if we want to, if you analyze between those two risks, right? If I want to capture what will be my expected monetary value, right? So minus 1,500, 50% is a 0.5 plus $1,000 into 0.25. So still you are at a loss, right? Minus $500.
Okay, so then after that, what is the next action on this? If it is a minus, then what?
What is the next action will be? You need to have a contingency plan for this. You need to
Okay, so
you need to prepare. You need to inform your management. I'm expecting minus $500. So then the risk has not been handled properly. Your funds, your leakage in the project, leakage in the revenue.
no, this is expected. No, it can be possible. It is not
Can be
happened now.
possible, but that's how you need to plan for the contingency plan.
So we need to,
How-
okay, we need to budget more for this, huh?
how can you avoid this $500? So you're expecting mine, I'm going in negative. So there are what are the things that I need to take care, to reduce this, to bring minus 500 to zero.
Okay.
That's where you need to plan for the contingency plan or mitigation plan. Both the things you need to do that. So that
Contingency plan, we have to reserve the money for that. Okay.
reserve the money or something, some action you need to do that. You have to
Okay.
perform
Mhm.
so that can be avoided. This is a decision tree, right? This is another example where we have given. So EMV is very much useful, for making the decisions, to come across the decisions. So then let's say, for example, you have two vendors, right? One vendor where he's charging $38,000, but his probability occurrence is 55%. And with 55% is the impact is $70,000, right? And then failure is, we don't have any failure. Okay. And the success, another vendor, his cost is $41,250, but his success rate is 55%, right? So with that thing, the EMV is $55,000. So which vendor you will go? Vendor A or vendor B?
Of course, vendor A, no?
Why?
Because
You have to see the impact, no? Even though the resource is, the vendor is $41,000, right? But his vendor B is charging $41,000, but his you're able to get 75% of the success rate, and then $55,000 impact. Here the impact is less. On the vendor A, impact is more.
So multiplication of both the 0.55 into 7.
Correct.
What are the value will become?
38,000 into 0.5, right? That's how you do that. So data using the Monte Carlo chart. Anyone heard about the Monte Carlo chart? Histogram, Monte Carlo chart. These are the charts. So you have to. These are some of the questions will come. Risk. You will get a lot of questions on risk.
बताएंगे कैसे कैसे क्वेश्चन रहेगा किस टाइप का?
I will share the details on the risk. We have so many questions. I have that data with the risk captured separately. What type of questions might come under the risk.
सारे सब जितने भी है ना सब नॉलेज एरिया का सबका क्वेश्चन दे दीजिए कितना हम कर लेंगे तो बस पास कर जाएंगे
नहीं इंशाल्लाह पास हो जाएंगे कोई बड़ी बात नहीं
पढ़ के थक गए 500 पेज में पसीना छूट जाता है इस्माइल भाई
that is what it is. This is the only tedious part. वो पढ़ते पढ़ते नींद आ जाती है मेरे को तो नींद आ जाती थी मेरे को मैं सो जाता था मैं किधर भी
एक चीज और है इस्माइल भाई पढ़े ना 10 पेज आगे गए ना पीछे का 5 पेज सब गायब
हाँ होता है लेकिन एटलीस्ट उसको रिवाइज बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस में क्या करता था मैं आई यूज्ड टू डू पहले एक चैप्टर पढ़ता था राइट चैप्टर पढ़ के उसको बाजू रख देता देन एवरी टाइम कभी भी कुछ खाली टाइम मिला मेरे को देन मेरे दिमाग में वो चैप्टर को याद करता था पूरा नहीं याद कर सकते एटलीस्ट हाई लेवल पॉइंट्स और ये चैप्टर में क्या था अच्छा इंटीग्रेशन में क्या था क्या प्लानिंग फेज में क्या रहेंगे एग्जीक्यूशन फेज में क्या रहेगा और प्रोसेस ग्रुप टाइम में प्लानिंग फेज में हम लोग क्या प्रोजेक्ट प्लान इम्प्लीमेंट करना है राइट एग्जीक्यूशन में इंटीग्रेशन फेज में क्या आएगा मॉनिटरिंग कंट्रोल में कैसे करेंगे स्टेक होल्डर को कैसे मैनेज करेंगे दीज आर द एरियाज दैट यू टू पुट दैट इन माइंड जैसे अब रिस्क मैनेजमेंट है रिस्क में क्या आएंगे जैसे अब क्वालिटेटिव है क्वांटिटेटिव एनालिसिस है इनपुट क्या आएगा आउटपुट क्या आएगा ILLO देख इफ यू आर परफेक्ट ऑन ILLO राइट यू आर गुड आपको क्लियर इनपुट ILTO इनपुट आउटपुट टूल्स एंड टेक्नोलॉजीज
वो ITTO बोला था ना आपने,
ITTO, sorry,
ITTO,
ITTO. Input, tools and technologies, output.
ओके फाइन.
So ये रख लेंगे तो बस काफी है. इसीलिए मैं
ये
डायग्राम बनाऊं तो प्रोग्राम में आपका कितने
मैं भाई ITTO में कितने क्वेश्चंस आते होंगे ITTO से रिलेटेड?
ITTO से आएंगे, अच्छे खासे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं ITTO से.
ये तो फिर डायरेक्ट हो गया ना, इसमें तो कोई घुमा फिरा के नहीं पूछेंगे ना.
हाँ, ITTO से डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस आते हैं.
ओके.
रिस्क में थोड़ा बहुत ट्रिकी क्वेश्चंस आते हैं.
अच्छा, इसमें ये भी होता है क्या कि बहुत सारे जो क्वेश्चंस 200 में हम पहले जो सिंपल सा जो है 2-3 लाइन वाला पढ़ के उसको पहले कर ले, फिर बाद में लॉन्ग वाला करें, ऐसा कर सकते हैं क्या? ऐसा
ऐसा
होता
नहीं
है?
आता. एक क्वेश्चन के बाद दूसरा क्वेश्चन आता जाता रहता है आपको.
ओह माय गॉड. उसके
हाँ.
बाद से उसका टाइम रहता है.
हाँ, तो आपको क्या होगा, पहले एक क्वेश्चन आएगा तो
हाँ
आपको एक उतना टाइमर स्टार्ट हो जाएगा.
हाँ हाँ.
टाइम वो जैसे आंसर करेंगे नेक्स्ट होके दबाना पड़ेगा. अगर नहीं, अगर वो टाइमर चले गया तो देन दैट क्वेश्चन इज लॉस्ट.
ओह माय गॉड, ऐसा है क्या?
हाँ हाँ.
और भाई तो बहुत ज्यादा ही टफ है.
टफ कुछ भी नहीं है. नहीं, थोड़ा बहुत प्रैक्टिस करेंगे तो आ जाएगा, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. हम लोग समझते हैं, लेकिन मैं भी
जैसे
ऐसे सोचता था मैं जब
भाई मैंने देखा बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन है जो कि हाफ ऑफ पेज का एक क्वेश्चन है और उसके में भी ऑब्जेक्टिव है, और कुछ ऐसे क्वेश्चन है जो 2 लाइन का है. तो
हाँ,
उसमें
करेक्ट. होता
timing
है.
अलग है.
वो जब तक क्वेश्चन पढ़ेगी आपका टाइम हो जाएगा.
तो
Maximum how much time it will take for one question to
लाइक
attempt?
मेजॉरिटी लाइक 90% आपको 1-2 लाइन के चाहिए.
अच्छा, 90% 2 लाइन के ही आएंगे ना.
हाँ, 2 लाइन के आएंगे, ज्यादा नहीं है.
ये आपने थोड़ा आसान कर दिया सर.
हाँ, वो भी पास हो रहा था. टफ नहीं है, इजी है. So okay, this is what it is. A risk report. Risk response, you need to capture various opportunities, reduce you need to threat, you need to reduce the threats of the risk. Risk responses. So still we have identified the risk. Now we have captured the risk. For those risks, we need to have a response, right? Who is going to work on that risk? What are so again, for the risk response, what will be my input criteria? What are the tools? I can, with the help of tools and technologies, what we'll be using. With the help of that, I can plan for my response. And finally, what will be my output, right? Response, wherever you have identified the risk, right? For those risks, you need to plan for the response. As simple as that. So let's say, for example, you have identified the risk under resource management plan. Against risk management plan, and then you need to have a risk response. How will you do the risk response? By using these technologies, either by expert judgment, if you are well experienced, then or data gathering, talk to some people, capture more details on that thing, then have a one-on-one session with respective team members. Then if you are or use your interpersonal skills. Then if identify any threats are there, then prepare strategies for that threat. Then contingent plan response strategies, overall risk, data analysis. These are all those things you will use, and then finally you will come across with the output saying that okay, risk plan what for that resource, what will be my schedule will be, if there are any schedule changes with respect to the resource, plan it accordingly. What if there are any cost changes are there, so you need to mention the cost, right? All those details you need to capture. So I told you, right? We can 4 ways you can avoid your risks, right? Either you can control your risk. Either you can avoid the risk, reduce the risk, and transfer the risk. These are the areas, how you will be able to control the risk. Either you can avoid this risk, you can avoid the risk. How you will avoid the risk? By preparing proper mitigation plan and the contingency plan, right? And reducing the risk by identifying the probability of the risk, right? If you are probability high, then do the root cause. Once you do the root cause, then the risk will be reduced. And another area, where you can transfer the risk. Okay, this risk doesn't belong to me. It has to go to someone else. For the example will be like a stakeholder. Some of good example with stakeholder. There are some risks which are associated to stakeholder. Well, at that time, what you can do, you have identified the risk, but that risk does not belong to you. It has to be transferred. You can transfer that risk to the respective team member. If it is belong to stakeholder, you just assign that risk to the stakeholder. I have transferred the risk. I am not owning this risk. That risk will be owning by the stakeholder, right? Like in terms of the project charter, you have identified the risk for the project charter. Project charter, who is responsibility for the project charter? Stakeholder, right? Guys, sleeping Sunday?
No, we are listening very attentively.
Okay. So I'm not getting
Sorry,
that.
नहीं आज का थोड़ा सा dry है subject, so we are trying to focus and imbibe as much as possible.
Easy, risk is easy.
This easy है.
Oh,
It's not
worries
easy.
are too much.
हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, एक इवेंट आ गया है, उसको हम लोग कैसा रिड्यूस करेंगे, उसको हम लोग कैसा प्लान करेंगे। मान लो कि कोई भी क्या इंसिडेंट आ गया, उस इंसिडेंट को हम लोग को उसको अगर आने से पहले कैसे करेंगे, अगर आ गया तो उसको हम लोग कैसे डील करेंगे। उसमें है क्वालिटेटिव एनालिसिस है। एक इंसिडेंट है, आपको बार बार आ रहा है, तो दैट इज व्हाट क्वालिटेटिव एनालिसिस इट कम्स। उसके बाद अगर उसके क्वालिटेटिव एनालिसिस से लेके हम लोग को हमारा कॉस्ट क्या हो रहा है, क्योंकि बार बार आ रहा है ना, एक ही रिसोर्स बार बार उसी पे काम कर रहा है, तो आपको खर्चा हो रहा है ना। एक चीज को बार बार कितने बार करेंगे आप? पहली बार करा, जाके एक गाड़ी को आप रिपेयर करा के आए, ठीक है, मैं एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ आपको। एक गाड़ी को जाके आप है ना कार्बोरेटर क्लीन करा के आए, तो आपको 10 रुपया खर्चा किया आपने पहली बार, ठीक है। फिर दूसरी बार गए, फिर आगे 10 रुपया खर्चा करें। ऐसे महीने में 10 बार हो रहा है, तो दैट मीन्स महीने में आप उसको तकरीबन 100 से 200 रुपये आप खर्चा कर रहे हैं। तो आप इंस्टेड ऑफ आइडेंटिफाइंग द रूट कॉज, आप क्या कर रहे हैं, रूट कॉज आइडेंटिफाई नहीं कर रहे, जैसा आप बार बार जाके उसको फिक्स करा रहे हैं। करेक्ट है ना?
Yes.
तो ये दैट्स हाउ यू नीड टू कोरिलेट। हम उसको अब बार बार आ रहे हैं तो क्या करेंगे, हम उसका एक रिस्पॉन्स प्लान करेंगे। भाई इसका बार बार आ रहा है, इसको रिस्क को हम लोग कैसा इसको रिस्पॉन्स करना है, इसको स्ट्रैटेजी कैसे बनाना है। आप जाके क्या करेंगे, आप मैकेनिक से बात करेंगे, भाई ये बार बार क्यों आ रहा है, उसको क्वेश्चन करेंगे। आप करते हैं कि नहीं करते हैं? कोई भी चीज बार बार आ रही तो क्या करेंगे आप, बार बार क्यों आ रहे हैं बार बार, इसका परमानेंट इलाज कर दो, बार बार मैं नहीं आ सकता। ऐसे ही हर एक प्लान में, हर एक चीज में आपको प्लान करना है। प्रोजेक्ट के इनिशिएशन प्लानिंग फेज में आपको पूरे रिस्क को प्लान करना है। जब से एग्जीक्यूशन आ रहा है तो आपकी कोड डेवलपर कोड लिखा है आपका, जब कोड लिखा है तो जब टेस्टिंग को जा रहा है तो फिर वो बग आया, पहली बार आइडेंटिफाई किया टेस्टर बग, तो क्या किया, टेस्टर डेवलपर को वापस भेजा, भाई ये मॉड्यूल में ये बग आ रहा है, फिक्स करके दे मेरे को। तो फिक्स करा, फिक्स करके फिर बाद में से आपको जब टेस्ट करा फिर से बग आया, मतलब बार बार एक चीज को, मतलब आपका काम रुक जा रहा है, आगे अब नहीं बढ़ पा रहे हैं आप, दैट इज कॉल्ड क्वालिटेटिव एनालिसिस। उसको क्वालिटी एनालिसिस, उसकी वजह से क्या हो रहा है, बार बार एक ही चीज को बार बार कर रहे हैं, तो आपका शेड्यूल है ना, एक मॉड्यूल आपको आज खत्म करना था, लेकिन यू आर नॉट एबल टू फिनिश, आपको 10 दिन और एक्स्ट्रा लग रहा है। दैट इज कॉल्ड द, उसकी वजह से क्या हो रहा है, आपका शेड्यूल चेंज हो रहा है। शेड्यूल चेंज हुआ तो आपको कॉस्ट भी चेंज हो जाएगा। मतलब एक रिसोर्स के ऊपर, सेम रिसोर्स को 2 रिसोर्स के आपको पैसा एक्स्ट्रा खर्चा कर रहे हैं आप बजट करे थे 8 घंटे का, लेकिन काम हुआ 16 घंटे का, 8 घंटे आपको ज्यादा हो गया। दैट इज द कॉस्ट बेसलाइन। शेड्यूल बेसलाइन, शेड्यूल आपका 8 घंटे का रखे थे, 8 घंटे के जाके 16 घंटे का शेड्यूल बेसलाइन आपका चेंज हो गया। कॉस्ट सिमिलरली कॉस्ट बेसलाइन भी चेंज हो गया आपका। उसको कैसे हम लोग मिटिगेट करेंगे? मॉनिटरी वैल्यू एनालिसिस। मॉनिटरी वैल्यू एनालिसिस का कब काम आता है आपको? व्हेन यू आर evaluating the most primary, evaluating आता है वेंडर्स। वेंडर के टाइम पे एक वेंडर ज्यादा पैसे चार्ज कर रहा है, लेकिन उसका सक्सेस रेट क्या है, उसका इम्पैक्ट क्या है उस टाइम पे। समझ में आ रहा है अभी? नहीं थोड़ा बहुत नहीं,
थोड़ा आ रहा है।
ना अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह अभी काफी बेहतर है।
देखो ये स्ट्रेटेजीज क्या आपको अवॉइड कर सकते हैं, ट्रांसफर कर सकते हैं। अदर दूसरे बात मेरा नहीं है, रिस्क है, आई एम प्लानिंग टू आई विल ट्रांसफर द रिस्क टू अदर पर्सन, बिकॉज दिस रिस्क आई एम नॉट ओनिंग दिस रिस्क, आई विल ट्रांसफर द रिस्क। मिटिगेट द रिस्क कैसे करते हैं? प्रोबेबिलिटी और इम्पैक्ट। देन रिस्क को एक्सेप्ट करो आप, you need to accept the risk. Yes, this risk has again occurred, then I'll accept the risk. For that risk occurred, matlab already risk has happened. What is risk has not happened? For that you will plan for the mitigation plan. When the risk has already occurred, right, what you will do, you will have to have, you need to have you don't have the mitigation plan, you will prepare the contingency plan. Then escalate, so that if the risk is you are not able to close the risk on time, then you escalate. Or if the risks are also outside of your project, then again you need to escalate, because this is not my area. All those risks you need to capture into the risk register. Any doubts on this?
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
So these are the strategies for the positive risk or opportunities. You need to exploit, right? Jab exploit karenge, then you will get you see there is an opportunity, right? What you will do, you identify the risk and you will exploit that risk. That's where you will create an opportunity. It is good for your project. Then increase the opportunity, probability, or the impact. When you accept the risk, then you have taken an action, and you will जब risk आ गया आपका, then what you will do, you will take an action and you will prepare the contingency plan. And whenever that opportunity occurs, again you will prepare the same kind of thing. So these are some of the examples, residual risk, secondary risk, contingency reserve, management reserves. Okay, this next one.
Please go back to slide. क्या secondary risks बताएंगे?
Residual risk means that there are risk. You have closed the risk, but there will be some part of the risk which will be left out. That is called the residual risk.
इसका मतलब हमने ठीक से काम नहीं किया इसलिए आ
हाँ,
गया फिर से।
पूरा complete नहीं हुआ, close नहीं हुआ. Some part has been left out. For that, what you need to plan for the strategy for that response strategy. So on a secondary risk, you have, even though you have taken care of that risk, but you see some of the risk might occur again during the implementation phase. It is like,
Okay.
so that's where you call the secondary risk. Contingency reserve and management reserves. These are the risks associated to for your management, not into the project manager. These are management will reserve some type of contingency reserve. This is related to the budget. Clear?
Okay, thank you.
So output will be change request. Any change request, you need to capture that. Then update the project management plan, change management plans, cost management plan. Everywhere you need to go and update that. Because the new change request has came, right? That's where you will get, everything is going to be changed. Assumption log, cost forecast, lessons learned, right? Project schedule, risk register, risk report. Then now these risks you need to implement that. You have captured the risk as the risk responses. Now you need to implement those risks. Implement matlab you have assigned the task. This risk you have assigned to respective your team member. Thus team member you need to work with the team member and get that risk addressed. समझ में आ गया आपको इसको? Implement the risk means you have captured the risk. You have put down into that Excel sheet. These are the risk responses. That risk जो भी risk आपका आया है, then you will be assigning the risk to the respective team member. With respect to the scope, who is responsible for the scope creep? Project manager, stakeholder. You assign that risk to him. Then you need to regular follow-up. What will be the target date to close that risk? They ensure that whether it is a high, the status of the risk is a green, red, or amber. Is it clear?
रिस्क रिपोर्ट क्या बताएंगे फिर से? रजिस्टर में और रिपोर्ट में क्या डिफरेंस?
Register means report in, you report to your management saying that I have 10 risks associated. Out of 10 risks, I have closed 5 risks. And the status of the another 5 risks is amber or red, whatever in progress. That is called your risk report. And risk register is you capture all 10 risks. Each and every risk you have captured in Excel sheet. Against that, you maintain the status. Again, all those 10 details.
Okay.
Expert judgment, team influencing, these are the PMS, another thing, to capture your risk. Work performance information, change request, project management plan updates, any component of that all it has to go under part of risk responses. You will be having assumption log, issue log, right? Lesson learned register, risk report. Then once the risk has been implemented, you need to monitor those risks for anything so that the new things should not be occurring again. So you need to track those risks and then ensure that risks are getting addressed. This is the monitoring phase. all these areas we are talking are on the execution phase, implementation. Clear? So we have process groups, right? We discussed, we came on the initial, during the planning phase, we have identified the risks. Then we captured the, then execution phase, we have implemented the risk. And during the monitoring phase, we are controlling the risk. And then we are ensuring the risk, whatever the risk that we have captured, right? Those risks are getting addressed. This is the monitoring phase of the project. And also at the same time, you are ensuring new risks are not occurring. If the new risks are occurring, then go ahead and record those risks. And similarly, you will plan those risks. You have to put across the risk response. Yeah, then calculate the number of qualitative analysis, quantitative analysis, and then you have to put across your the response for that risk and implement that risk and ensure that risk is getting closed. Again, repeat against the cycle. Any questions? I think today is also Sunday, so everyone is
उतना एक्टिव नहीं है.
अपना एक्टिव नहीं है आज लोग. क्या करेंगे एक्टिव करने के लिए, बताइए.
कुछ दिखाई क्या रिस्क रजिस्टर?
सबको क्या अंडरस्टैंडिंग आया, जितना आपने एक्सप्लेन किया उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा बोलना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि कुछ लोग हो भी सकता है कि लगाए बाजू सो गए बस लगाकर.
अच्छा,
तो एक कर सकते हैं 1 by 1 एक जने जो भी उनका अंडरस्टैंडिंग आया टोटल.
हाँ, we can
में.
देखो मैं 1 मिनट में I'll open template. ये देखो रिस्क रजिस्टर टेम्पलेट, ठीक है. ये रिस्क रजिस्टर टेम्पलेट, देयर यू विल कैप्चर एवरीथिंग. आप बोले थे ना?
हाँ दिखाइए, रिस्क दिखाइए, कहाँ
दिख रहा है?
हाँ दिख रहा है.
ठीक है. सो रिस्क आइडेंटिफिकेशन, रिस्क एनालिसिस, risk prioritization, risk response, risk control. These are the areas that we will put that. जो हम लोगों ने आइडेंटिफाई किया था, राइट. रिस्क आइडेंटिफिकेशन, उसका हर एक रिस्क का एक आईडी रहता है, उसका टाइटल देते हैं और उसका डिस्क्रिप्शन क्या है, ठीक है. देन वी विल बे ऑन व्हाट डेट द रिस्क हैज बीन आइडेंटिफाइड, रिस्क कहाँ से ओरिजिनेट हुआ है, ठीक है, and the category of the risk. समझ में आया? And then बस इतना ही होता है और कुछ नहीं. जैसा आप उतना देखे ना, it will be like this. ID, risk title देंगे, risk statement देंगे, date identify है, कौन किधर से originate हुआ है, risk category, whether you put these are the कौन से एनवायरमेंट है, रिसोर्स है, शेड्यूल है, स्टेक होल्डर है, टेक्नोलॉजी है. दीज आर द कैटेगरीज यू विल पुट अक्रॉस. यू कैन ऑफ कोर्स यू कैन ऐड मोर आल्सो, राइट. देन प्रोबेबिलिटी, कितने बार आ रहा, लो है प्रोबेबिलिटी इसका, मतलब एक ही बार आया, ठीक है, 1-2 बार आ रहा बस. मीडियम, मीडियम मतलब 4-5 बार आ रहा है. हाई, देखो लो डालता हूँ, इम्पैक्ट हाई है तो इसका एक्सपोजर, ये देखा आपने, इट इज कैलकुलेटेड ऑटोमेटिकली, इट विल कैलकुलेट. टाइम फ्रेम, ये मीडियम है, शॉर्ट, इसका सीवियरिटी आ गया. क्लियर? देन उसकी वजह से आपको रिस्क ओनर कौन है, देन यू नीड टू हैव असाइन टू, किसको असाइन किया है आपने, और इसका स्ट्रेटेजी क्या है, रिस्क स्ट्रेटेजी। तो आपने इसको एक्सेप्ट किया है और अवॉइड कर रहे हो आप इसको, नहीं ये मेरा नहीं है, ठीक है, या आप इसको मिटिगेट कर रहे हो, रिस्क को मिटिगेट कर रहे हो, तो आप देन यू राइट द रिस्क यहाँ पे मिटिगेशन प्लान, देन कंटिजेंसी प्लान यहाँ पे डालिए, उसका रिस्क स्टेटस क्या है, वेदर ओपन और क्लोज्ड। देन क्लोज हुआ तो आपको उसको क्लोज बोल रहे हो, तो कब डेट डेट डाल दो, क्लोज का डेट डाल दिया। इसका रेजोल्यूशन क्या है, मतलब फिक्स क्या किया आपने, ये इधर आप मेंशन करिए, इतना ही होता है। दिस इज कॉल्ड एंटायर थिंग इज रिस्क। समझ में आया आपको? ये
अनिला अभी काफी क्लियर है।
ये आपको जब इम्प्लीमेंट करते जाएंगे ना तो आपको समझ में आएगा, क्योंकि एक सवाल में आपको समझ में अंदर मुश्किल होता है। मैं आपको रिस्क मैनेजमेंट प्लान ओपन करता हूँ। रिस्क मैनेजमेंट, दिस इज ऑल रिस्क मैनेजमेंट प्लान। हम लोग यहाँ पे जो जब हम लोग बताया था मैं आपको एक्सेल टेम्पलेट में, so those are all the things you identify the risk register, analyze the risk response planning, risk monitoring and control, इतना ही। So all these details will go that.
इस्माइल भाई,
हाँ,
ये लास्ट टेम्पलेट में आपने रिस्क सिवियरिटी आया था, वो लेवल 2 दिखा रहा था उसमें, हाउ इट वाज कैलकुलेटेड?
that's an impact, एक मिनट, formula, that's a formula,
Okay, fine. That is a standard formula or
it's a
depends
standard
on,
formula, it's a standard formula.
can we see that or any of the way?
मैं बताता हूँ।
Okay.
ये देख लो ना, प्रोबेबिलिटी आप हाई लो बोल रहे हो, ये मैं बताया था, आई हैव शोड यू द रिस्क मैट्रिक्स,
Yes, yes. So the yellow, green and
the
red.
probability is low, impact is also low, time frame is in a short duration or long time it came,
Okay.
कितने सा यार,
Select new.
ठीक है, this
Okay.
all, okay,
Okay, okay.
so this is, if it is a long one into medium में दो, medium और दो है और short है तो तीन, then it gives a formula 1 2 3, okay.
Okay.
अगर आप मीडियम बोल रहे हो, then it is a high, टाइम फ्रेम आपको शॉर्ट, सिवियरिटी कितना आपका 12 आया, ये बेस्ड ऑन द सिवियरिटी आपको है ना, यू विल गेट द इनटू, अगर सिवियरिटी आपका ज्यादा आ गया, राइट, इट इज ग्रेटर देन 20 रिस्क स्कोर, दिस अदरवाइज इट कॉल्स द रिस्क स्कोर। अगर ये 27 से ज्यादा चला गया, इन केस बताता हूँ आपको, हाई है, एक्सपोजर है, सिवियरिटी 18 है, इसको आपको देन यू नीड टू हैव द प्लान प्रॉपर्ली। और एक आता है, एक मिनट बताता, एक मैं पिनबॉक्स में भी देखता हूँ, पिनबॉक्स में somewhere I have seen the risk. ठीक है, I'll check that. मेरे को कहीं देखा था मैं. So where the risk is greater than 27, so we need to prepare the contingency plan. So that part I wanted to showcase to you. How you will get the 27. So higher the probability, higher the impact, and the time frame it is long. Then based on that you will get the severity. So I'll show you मैं देख तो मैं I'll get that, any of the template will be, if I'm having that I will share that to you.
Okay, sir.
मैं देख के निकालता हूँ मैं. I'm not just that I'm not able to find that how we will be calculating the severity. 1 minute. I will check. go to this article, one thing I've seen that it gives more clarity आपको how you'll be able to calculate the there's a tool which उसमें आपको दिखाई देगा कि how we are able to calculate the probability of occurrence, severity. Those are the things.
Smile bhai.
1 minute. Okay. See, I'll share this one thing it came. आप बोलिए कुछ बोल रहे थे आप.
मैं कॉल आ गया तो मैं उधर बिजी हो गया था, तो आपको कोई ब्रेक है क्या अभी?
ब्रेक ये क्या है, मैं आपको ये बता दें कि देन रिस्क कैसे कैलकुलेट करते हैं, देन आई विल शो यू द, देन विल टेक ए ब्रेक. See, one is the probability. I told you, right? हम लोग को probability number of times it is coming. आपको very let's say for example very low में, you are able to see my screen, right?
Yes, yes.
जी.
Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
very low है, आपका category है very low, right? And the probability number of times it is occurring. मान लो 1 in 100 में 90 times आ रहा है, 80 times आ रहा है, right? That's one probability for you. And low आ गया, low में आपको कितने 1 in 10 में कितने बार आ रहा है, सेम बार बार कितने बार resurface हो रहा है आपका रिस्क है. So that you will put that. Medium 1 in 5, high 1 in 2, greater than एक से ज्यादा है. So then in that case the impact क्या आएगा आपका, very low है, less than 1%, और schedule एक दिन में हो रहा है तो no injury for that safety, right? These are the things based these are the lab categories. You will define that very low, medium, high, very high. This you are able to catch it, right? Or any questions on this?
You mean to say that go up, sir. In this now, these are talking about the only one risk, na? Based on that, on the one risk, it is a very low, high, like.
One risk, it is let's say for example one risk which is very low, but the probability is very high, right? Another risk.
Another, you're talking of another low. Yeah, the same risk. Yeah, one time is low. It can be if it is go medium, it will go high. It is very high. See one type of risk.
No, I will tell you. Risk one is number. We have, let's say for example 10 risks are there in the project, right?
Okay.
Now risk number 1, it is very low, right?
Okay.
This low, but it is probability is occurring more and more. Like I can say like 8 or 20 times, 30 times it is occurring. That's my probability. But another risk which is low category, even though I'm categorizing this is a low risk, but my probability of occurrence is 1 in 10, like 5 times I can see, 8 times I'm seeing that, right? But another risk is there where my risk category is medium. I'm saying it's a medium, it is not impacting, but the but the probability is 1 in 5, like twice it is coming, thrice it is coming.
Okay. But I will say, then there will be many very low kind of risk maybe in the list.
But if you see, even though if you are categorizing the risk is very low, but probability is getting high, right? So what you have to do, you have to have a plan for that. Why probability is very high, even though risk is low, that probability is very high, severity is very high, right? 1 into, so let's say 1 into 80 times it is coming. My severity is 80 over there. So we need to have a plan for that. That means you need to have what is the plan you need to prepare? A risk response plan. You will be preparing the root cause analysis for that one, and you need to prepare. You will be preparing the contingency plan. That is your risk score. Risk score, how you will be calculating? See, risk score with multiple impacts. Probability is very high. I told you, right? Probability is very high. That means 80 times it is occurring. Right? Risk score is equal to probability to average impact. Understand? This is how it goes. If the risk score is greater than 27, then you will need to prepare the contingency plan. This is what I was talking about. Risk score. समझ में आया आपको?
नहीं, why only taken have this is the 5 is for high probability and
no, I'm just, this is just a number.
Okay.
So आपको probability यहाँ पे आना रिस्क लो बोल रहे हैं आप, लेकिन probability आपका 80 बार है या 100 में से आपको 90 बार आ रहा है, ठीक है? और इम्पैक्ट क्या है उसका? उसकी आने की वजह से, बार बार आने की वजह से आपका इम्पैक्ट प्रोजेक्ट पे, आपको शेड्यूल पे इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है आपका। तो आपका क्या होगा? इसका स्कोर क्या होगा? रिस्क स्कोर जब प्रोबेबिलिटी इनटू इम्पैक्ट P इंटू I जब करेंगे तो आपका रिस्क स्कोर आएगा। वो रिस्क स्कोर, ये based on this risk score you will prepare the contingency plan and the mitigation plan. समझे आप?
ये दूसरा वाला कैसे? देखिए जरा ऊपर देखिए थोड़ा सा हल्का सा, ये इधर से निकाला, ये रिस्क स्कोर सेकंड लाइन प्रोबेबिलिटी इनटू एवरेज
this says what is that? Probability average. This take the average impact. Average मतलब आप क्या किए? आपने इम्पैक्ट 10 आया, 10 में से आपका उसका एवरेज निकाले, आप एवरेज इम्पैक्ट निकाल के इनटू प्रोबेबिलिटी नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स करें, तो दैट गिव्स यू द रिस्क स्कोर। मान लो कि आपका एक रिस्क है, उसका इम्पैक्ट है ना आपका नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स इट इज अकरिंग, 1 इज ऑन द प्रोबेबिलिटी है, और उसका इम्पैक्ट हर बार आपका उसका एवरेज निकाले। आपका जैसे एक बग आया, ठीक है, जब आप कोड डेवलप करें तो यू फाउंडेड ए बग, सो द रिपीटेशन प्रोबेबिलिटी अकरेंस इज हाई, राइट? अब जब भी उसका हाई करेंगे, फर्स्ट टाइम आया, उसका इम्पैक्ट क्या हुआ वो कैलकुलेट, वो एक आपका वैल्यू आएगा। फिर नेक्स्ट टाइम आया आपका, उसका एक कैलकुलेट करेंगे आप, इम्पैक्ट उसका क्या, उसका एक आया, देन यू टेक द एवरेज ऑफ द इम्पैक्ट, लाइक उसका इम्पैक्ट लेके, देन प्रोबेबिलिटी उसका वेरी हाई है आपका, then you multiply the average impact into the probability, you will get the risk score. If that risk score is greater than 27 or less than 27, then you accordingly you will prepare the mitigation plan as well as the contingency plan. If the score is greater than 27, then you need to prepare the contingency plan. Mitigation plan will not fall into picture. आया समझ में?
अगर हमने सिर्फ why average, हम we will take only the highest impact, why will take average?
नहीं, sometimes you want to take average also, doesn't mean आपको ये होना चाहिए। अगर आप it based on the, see, based on the PM to PM. Let's say I want to calculate the what is the average impact for that issue, for that risk.
Right. Okay.
एक रिस्क को मेरे को 10 बार आ रहा है एक रिस्क, उसका एवरेज क्या है?
अनिल भाई आप कुछ एग्जाम्पल दीजिए ना आप, मतलब रिस्क के बारे में, ना आईटी और ना टी के हिसाब से, मतलब आपने अभी बोला कि कुछ बार बार आ रहा है, तो वो क्या है एग्जाम्पल के थ्रू?
देखिए ये क्या है आपका, लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल यू हैव डेवलप्ड ए कोड, राइट, आपने कोड लिखा है, राइट, और वेब पेज आपका एक वेब पेज है ना, जैसे आप वेबसाइट पे गए, आप लॉगिन का एक पेज है,
जी
लॉगिन पेज पे आप क्या करें, यूजर आईडी पासवर्ड डाल के सबमिट करते हो, you are the functionality, what is the functionality, you are supposed to be get in log, you should be able to log in into the application, correct? Okay, so what will happen, let's say you have entered the user ID and password, but you are not able to log in, there's a defect, right? There's a defect came. So what you will do, you will pass on to, even though your credentials are correct, there is something wrong in the code which the developer has written. The tester has identified and he has sent that code to, he has asked the developer, was there is some problem in your code, I'm not able to log in. Then developer, he will see that and he will fix that, correct? So what, now you should, the team will come back to you saying that we have fixed the issue. Now you will be able to log into your application, right? Now what you will do, you will log in again, you will enter your credentials. Again, you will type to log in, right? So you will not, again, what will happen, the scenario, you are supposed to log in, but you are not able to log in. Then like this, how many times its probability is coming? And what is the impact you are getting? So this is how you do you take the average number of occurrences, same kind of issue is repeating, probability is very high. I'm not able to do that login, and the impact will be impact is such that I'm not able to, you are not able to access the application. That is a high impact for you. So you wanted to do, once you log into application, you wanted to perform some activity. Because since you are not able to log into the application, you will not be able to perform any of the activity. Your impact is very high and your probability occurrence is very high. The risk is very high. Is it clear? I'm just, this is simple example I've given to you. So now what we have. Any questions you wanted to ask? So you understand, right, how we will calculate the risk score?
जी हाँ, एग्जाम्पल के हिसाब से थोड़ा समझने है.
So one is based on the probability, severity, and then a risk score will be calculated based on the impact and the probability, right? कितने बार आ रहा है और average impact, उसका कितना impact है, आपका impact high है, then you will get that. Based on that risk score, you will calculate you will prepare the response for your risk. You need to write the mitigation plan, you need to write a contingency plan. This is what I was in the Excel, it was showing to you. I was showing to you. यहाँ पे आप probability डालेंगे, impact आएगा, आपका probability डालें, आप impact डालें, then you will get the severity. Time frame डालेंगे. So आपको time frame is just as sometimes they will not, we will take these two only into consideration to get the risk score. ये risk score के ऊपर ही आप, then you will prepare the risk response strategy. So risk response. Yeah, risk response strategy क्या करेंगे आप? You will either, if it is a, you will accept the risk, that means it is a contingency plan. If it is a less than 27, this value is less than 27, then you will prepare the mitigation and enhanced plan. You will write over here, and the status, you will capture the status. And risk resolution, what is exactly the solution for that risk, and then risk closure date. Is it clear?
चल भाई ये
जी।
क्या टेप शेयर करने लायक है?
हाँ हाँ, मैं आपको दे देता हूँ, मैं पूरे भेज देता हूँ आपको। कल किसी ने
अच्छा,
आपको भेजा तो मैं अभी, बिफोर आई फॉरगेट ना, मैं अभी भेज देता हूँ मैं। Someone has sent me the link. 1 minute. Yesterday मैं कल भेजूंगा, फिर भूल ही गया था मैं। I'll send right away because all the documents I'll send.
मुझे मतलब अब तक जो मैंने सुना उससे ये लगा कि वो आपने जो बुक्स शेयर किए थे
हाँ
उसको
हाँ,
पढ़ना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि बहुत सारे वर्ड्स न्यू हैं। आपके वोकैबुलरी आपकी जो होती है थोड़ी डिफरेंट है, क्योंकि मैंने तो स्टडी नहीं किया है ये, बस
अच्छा।
थोड़ा एक्सपीरियंस है, जॉब पे थोड़ा सीखा है। क्योंकि हम जो भी जनरली जो भी पढ़ते हैं थ्योरेटिकली, प्रैक्टिकली काफी अलग होता है।
एग्जैक्टली।
चलो मैं बुक्स भी रीड करना शुरू करूंगा ताकि ये अच्छा है। और एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप नेक्स्ट वीक आप क्या टॉपिक लेने वाले हो, अगर आप वो बोलेंगे तो मैं उसके हिसाब से भी थोड़ा
हाँ, नेक्स्ट अभी हमको रिस्क ऑलमोस्ट ऑल खत्म होने को आया है।
जी
सो वेरी फ्यू, हाँ टेलर, हाँ रिस्क खत्म हो गया, रिस्क इज डन। सो
जी।
अभी हम लोग विल स्टार्ट ऑन टू द प्रोक्यूरमेंट। 1 घंटे में, 10 मिनट के बाद प्रोक्यूरमेंट स्टार्ट कर। प्रोक्यूरमेंट वेरी शॉर्ट है, छोटा
जी
है टॉपिक।
जी।
प्रोक्यूरमेंट इज ऑल नथिंग बट हम लोग अक्वायर करेंगे हम लोग।
नहीं सर, प्रोक्योरमेंट में समझ नहीं आता, क्योंकि इंजीनियरिंग सर्विसेज में था मैं कुछ वक्त के लिए, तो ज्यादातर यही इसी के पीछे पड़ा हुआ रहता था मैं।
हाँ, आपको तो आइडिया होगा प्रोक्यूरमेंट कैसे होता है पूरा।
बड़ा बात है एकदम।
जी जी जी। तो सो होपफुली हम लोग वी कैन टेक मोर एडवांटेज आपका एक्सपीरियंस से। हाँ, किसी ने लिंक भेजा है, ये लिंक मैं आपको अभी मैं भेज दे रहा हूँ। सो दैट गूगल ड्राइव का लिंक है ना, पीएमपी मटेरियल किस, ये किसका ये लिंक है? आई एम नॉट एबल टू। ओके, पीएमपी मटेरियल 2021। ये इज इट किसका है ये गूगल ड्राइव? आई विल टेल यू द नंबर विच इट कम्स। सऊदी का नंबर ये 966568522608।
maybe he's not there in the group today.
तो see, because I should not happen, no, वो मेरे को इंडिविजुअली भेजे हैं, मेरे को भेजो करके। So I want everyone to get the access. तो मेरे को you tell me one किसी का, because those has to be I will place it in one folder where you should be able to access everything.
अपना ये उम्मा का आपका है ना, हमारे पास बहुत सारे मटेरियल ऑलरेडी शेयर किया है उन्होंने इन डिटेल।
वाइस में ना,
वाइस में डाल दीजिए, वाइस में डाल दीजिए।
वाइस में डाल दूं क्या मैं?
हाँ, ज्यादा अच्छा रहेगा।
डाउनलोड हो सकता है ना,
इजी डाउनलोड हो जाएगा।
डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं ना हम लोग?
हाँ हाँ, डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं शायद।
देखिए उम्मा हमारा जो है उनकी तरफ से जो है ड्राइव, वो भी मैं यहाँ पे शेयर कर रहा हूँ ग्रुप में।
जी जी हाँ, कर दीजिए मेरे को, अभी मैं डाल देता हूँ। मैं फिर क्या हो रहा, मैं जैसे क्लास खत्म हो जाए मैं भूल जाऊंगा
मैं भी मेरे हिसाब से आप ऑलरेडी इसमें देखिए मैंने शेयर किया है।
आपने शेयर किया क्या आपने? ठीक है। because I don't want to share to individual. I want to share to everyone.
जी जी
आपने भेजा क्या मेरे को?
हाँ, अभी मैंने चैट में भेजा है।
अच्छा चैट में भेजा आपने, ठीक है। ओके ठीक है, मैं अभी इसमें अपलोड कर देता हूँ। अपलोड फोल्डर अपलोड। आप लोगों को समझ में तो आ रहा है ना?
जी हाँ जी हाँ, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह समझ में आ रहा है।
क्योंकि ऐसे नहीं होगा फिर बाद में इतना करके फिर समझ में नहीं आता, फिर प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा।
नहीं, थोड़े वर्ड्स जो आप टेक्निकल यूज कर रहे हैं उस पर थोड़ा सा वर्क करना पड़ेगा। मिटिगेशन आपने कुछ कहा था और दूसरे वर्ड्स हैं।
जैसे आप बोलेंगे तो देन आई कैन। मैं उसको जिप करके मैं पूरा कर दे रहा हूँ। हाँ तो जहां भी आपको लगा कि आपको टेक्निकल टर्म्स आपको समझ में नहीं आ रहा, देन आप बता दीजिए, देन आई विल बी ट्राई टू एक्सप्लेन देन एंड देयर ओनली। बिकॉज आई ट्राइड मैक्सिमम इनटू उसको सिंप्लीफाई करने के लिए।
नहीं नहीं, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह बहुत सिंपल है।
ठीक है, मैंने ये कर दिया, अपलोड कर दिया। ये आप 6 को और 7 को करेंगे ना, तो मेजर आप पिन बॉक्स 6 और 7 है ना, तो एवरीथिंग इज सिमिलर। तो उसमें पहले क्या, उसमें क्या था, पीपल और प्रोसेस केस में डिफरेंस कर दिया उसने 7, बट द कॉन्सेप्ट एवरीथिंग इज सेम।
मेरे पास और एक लिंक है काफी सारे बुक्स इसमें, पर वो उम्मा जॉब की तरफ से नहीं, तो क्या मैं शेयर कर सकता हूँ?
हाँ शेयर कर, नो प्रॉब्लम।
मैं यहीं चैट में शेयर कर रहा हूँ। इससे
हाँ
पहले तो शॉर्ट कुछ कोर्स था वो, उसमें उन लोग शेयर किए थे मेरे साथ।
जी जी, मैं इसमें पूरा पूरा मटेरियल डाल दिया हूँ मैं। तो होपफुली यू नो उसमें क्वेश्चनर्स है, आपको यू कैन, बहुत सारा मटेरियल है। मैं जब जहाँ जहाँ मिलता रहता था मैं
अच्छा
ऐड करते, मेरे मैं डेटा बैंक में ऐड करता था मैं।
जी, हाँ। मैंने चैट में शेयर किया, देखिए सबके साथ।
जी 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 जी।
अब इस ग्रुप में जितने भी लोग हैं, आप एक बार ये लिंक शेयर करते हैं तो आपका गूगल ड्राइव में ये आपसे शेयर हो जाता, तो आपके पास हमेशा के लिए सेफ हो जाएगा आपका लिंक। आप
अच्छा
कि ये मिट जाएगा बोल के, तो आप जब भी गूगल ड्राइव आप खोलते हो उसके अंदर आप अगर शेयर बोल के आपका अलग सा होता है, वो करे तो प्रीवियस जितने भी आपने ओपन किए थे शेयर फाइल्स वो
हाँ हाँ,
सारे आपको।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है ठीक। वही प्रोक्यूरमेंट छोटा ही है, तो 1 आवर में हम लोग रैप अप कर सकते हैं इसको, स्टार्ट दैट। प्रोक्यूरमेंट आज प्रोक्यूरमेंट लास्ट नेक्स्ट विल बी ओनली स्टेक होल्डर है, स्टेक होल्डर इज वो भी बहुत छोटा है, ज्यादा बड़ा नहीं है।
ये और कितने क्लासेस चलेंगे इस अंदर?
नेक्स्ट विल बी लास्ट।
अरे इतनी जल्दी खत्म?
1 महीना हो गया ना।
अच्छा पता भी नहीं चला।
हाँ 1 महीना हो गया। नहीं मैं तो रहूंगा ऐसा, कभी भी जब भी आपको डाउट्स रहेंगे मेरे को, देन आई एम ऑलवेज अवेलेबल।
जी।
वेल भाई, एक सजेशन था।
हाँ
अभी
बोलिए।
अगले हफ्ते क्या दिवाली है, तो लॉन्ग वीकेंड आ रहा है।
हाँ तो छोड़
पर
दो,
अगले
नेक्स्ट
हाँ
वीक। हाँ
हाँ, मेरी ऐसी राय थी, अगर सब लोग एग्री करते तो, क्योंकि
हाँ
मैंने तो
ठीक है,
थोड़ा,
नो नो प्रॉब्लम। हाँ मैं भी देख, तो मैं भी कहीं प्लान करूंगा।
हाँ तो इसीलिए अगर बाकी सबको सही समझे तो फिर
हाँ
खाली
नेक्स्ट
नेक्स्ट वीक
नेक्स्ट वीक के लिए हम लोग क्लोज कर देंगे।
हाँ नेक्स्ट वीक का कैंसिल करके उसके बाद वाले वीक में अगर क्लास
ये
ले
कहाँ,
सकते हैं तो।
करेक्ट, ठीक।
हाँ, अगर बाकी सबसे भी राय लेते हैं, अगर
ठीक
उनको
है
सही लगे तो फिर वैसा करेंगे।
जी जी जी, वैसे करेंगे। ये प्रोक्योरमेंट भी क्या छोटा ही है, एक आधे घंटे 3 पौन घंटे में खत्म हो जाएगा। नाइन 9:30 को स्टार्ट करेंगे हम लोग।
मैं और एक लिंक शेयर कर रहा हूँ।
जी जी।
ये डंप बोलते हैं ना, मतलब ये पूरा एक खजाने की तरह है ये लिंक। इसमें
अच्छा
मतलब हर चीज आपको मिल जाएगी पीएमपीएससी से रिलेटेड।
अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है ठीक है। ये 2021 का है ना ये? हाँ मैंने अपलोड कर दिया, देखिए अनिम भाई।
हाँ आपका जिप फाइल आ गया यहाँ पे बता रहा है।
करेक्ट करेक्ट। तो इसमें है ना पूरा कंप्लीट, मेरे पास जितना भी मटेरियल था मेरे पास, देन आई हैव अपलोडेड।
जज़ाकल्लाह खैर। भाई आपका कंट्रीब्यूशन बहुत है।
क्योंकि हम लोग है ना, एक्चुअली 2 वीक्स का ही कोर्स होता है।
जी
तो 35 आवर्स हम लोग है ना 4-4 घंटे कर रहे हैं ना,
जी।
तो वीक के हम लोग तकरीबन 8 घंटे 8 घंटे तो ऑलमोस्ट ऑल दिस इज एक वीक के 8 घंटे, तीसरा वीक है ये, ऑलमोस्ट 24 आवर्स वी हैव स्पेंट।
आपने किसी में कहाँ डाला है? वाइस में?
वो लिंक भेजा था ना गूगल ड्राइव,
अच्छा उसी में डाला है। अच्छा आपने गूगल
उसी में डाल दिया। पहले दिन तो अच्छे था, नो ये अपने बहुत से लोग कम हो गए हैं।
बहुत सारे लोगों का मतलब शायद उन लोगों को लगा सर्टिफिकेट नहीं कर सकते या फिर उनको अंडरस्टैंड, क्योंकि मेरा भी अभी अगर एक्सपीरियंस देखा तो आप रिसेंटली टोटल हार्डली 1 ईयर होगा, पर मैं एप्लीकेबल नहीं होता हूँ, बट इट गिव लॉट ऑफ क्लियरिटी एंड नॉलेज, इसलिए मैं पूरा कर रहा हूँ। बहुत
जी
सारे
जी
लोग उसको कंसिडर नहीं करते।
हाँ, नहीं नहीं, नॉलेज है ना, इसको आप डेली अगर एटलीस्ट उसको आपके प्रैक्टिस में लाएंगे ना, तो इट विल बी मोर हेल्पफुल। रिस्क थोड़ा लिटिल बिट कॉम्प्लिकेटेड भी है, रिस्क इतना आसान नहीं रिस्क।
अच्छा, ये पीएमपी के लिए तो बहुत सारा मतलब रिक्वायरमेंट होता है वर्किंग एक्सपीरियंस,
हाँ
और
हाँ
आप जो प्रिंस 2 है उसके लिए रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है, तो अगर वो कर लिए तो बेहतर।
नहीं, प्रिंस 2 देखिए वैल्यू ऐड नहीं है प्रिंस 2, और जस्ट नेम से और प्रिंस 2 में क्या प्रॉब्लम, क्यों वैल्यू ऐड नहीं है आपको? इफ यू नो सम कॉन्टैक्ट्स राइट, आपके यू विल गेट द सर्टिफिकेट इन हैंड बाय जस्ट पेइंग 35,000 रुपीज।
अच्छा
तो वो लोग ही एग्जाम दिखा देते हैं आपको, वो लोग ही कर देता है।
अच्छा।
लेकिन पीएमपी में ऐसा नहीं है, पीएमपी में आपको बाकायदा जाके बैठना होगा,
जी।
और वो मॉनिटर करते हैं।
हम्म।
आप थोड़े भी इनएक्टिव दिखे ना, देन आपका सेशन एंड कर देते हैं वो।
ये अपने को पार्टिसिपेशन सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा क्या इसमें भाई इसका?
इसका हमको पूछना पड़ेगा हमारे।
अच्छा होता है।
हाँ अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह।
इस्माइल भाई, आपने जो डाला है वो जो ये PMP 2021 वाला ना?
नहीं, दूसरा है PMP मटेरियल करके है, देखिए
हाँ,
वो वाला नहीं, दूसरा अलीम भाई ने जो शेयर किया था।
मैं कंफ्यूज हो रहा हूँ, 3 लिंक भेजा गया है, उसमें शेयर किया गया चैट
नहीं,
में।
नहीं, एक मिनट।
देखिए ऊपर से जो पहला है वो उम्मा जॉब का है, उसी में इस्माइल भाई ने अपलोड किया है, विच इज PMP मटेरियल जिप फाइल है, आपको
तो वो
डाउनलोड।
दैट इज इन वॉइस में ना?
जी
वो वॉइस में डाला है ना, वॉइस में ना?
नहीं, आप वो चैट ग्रुप में डाला है
वो अच्छा, तो
एक मिनट
वो
मैं
दैट इज नॉट अ गूगल ड्राइव ना?
नहीं गूगल ड्राइव ही है आपका, मैं एक बार रीशेयर करता हूँ लिंक, आपका कंफ्यूजन दूर हो जाएगा, ठहर चाहिए मेन लिंक है, मैं आपको
एक वेक्टर सॉल्यूशन वाला है, एक दूसरा है उसका, दूसरा है गूगल ड्राइव का, फिर तीसरा भी गूगल ड्राइव।
उससे पहले वाला लिंक है।
मैं आपको रीशेयर कर रहा हूँ, देखिए अभी चैट में, अब ये खोलिए,
प्लीज
मिल जाएगा। हाँ रीशेयर किया
ओके,
मैंने।
गॉट, इसमें इन्होंने डाल दिया है। ओके, थैंक यू सो मच, जज़ाकल्लाह।
इसमें आपको पूरे क्वेश्चनर्स है, FAQs है, पूरे हर चीज है।
जी ठीक।
अब इतना कर लेंगे और थोड़ा बहुत ये करेंगे तो आप डेफिनेटली विल क्लियर द एग्जाम।
इस्माइल भाई,
हाँ जी बोलिए।
इसमें आपका सर्टिफिकेशन भी है, तो थोड़ा कुछ पर्सनल चीजें हैं तो निकाल दीजिए देख के।
है क्या? अच्छा, देखा नहीं मैंने।
हाँ आपका PMP का सर्टिफिकेशन वगैरह भी है, कुछ पर्सनल दिख रहा है इसमें मटेरियल, तो थोड़ा
डिलीट कर दीजिए।
नहीं, इसमें से तो डिलीट नहीं कर सकते आपने, तो बैकअप ही है।
ठीक है। हम लोग स्टार्ट करेंगे क्या? आगे सब लोग आगे ना।
तब आए के पता नहीं, एक बार पूछ लीजिए, क्योंकि आज ब्रेक थोड़ा शॉर्ट हो गया।
स्टार्ट कर देंगे हम लोग
जी।
सो वेलकम बैक गाइस अगेन, अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
वालेकुम
अरे
we'll start on to our regular topic, which is okay. अभी दिख रहा है मेरा स्क्रीन?
जी।
So we have covered on to the risk management. Risk management, what are the things? Risk is nothing but uncertainty of the event which occurs. So we need to plan properly. We'll start from the risk will start as soon as you initiate the project. I'm just doing the recap So people are from, they missed, at least they can listen again. So we do plan, and during the planning phase itself, we'll plan the risk, plan for the risk, then we identify the risk, then we will prepare the risk response for the for those risks, whatever the risk which we have identified, and then we will what we will do, we will implement the risk, and then we will monitor the risk. These are the activities which we will be performing, right? Planning of the risk, like what you go in all input will be for your project charter. Then for all you will go subsequent phases of your project knowledge areas. Yeah, if you are you need to identify the risk onto the scope, schedule, cost, quality, and resource availability, communications. All those areas you need to identify the risk as and when you foresee those risks, capture those risks. How will you capture? There will be a risk register will be there. In that risk register, you will capture the risk against each actor, against each phase, right? And then those things you'll perform the qualitative analysis and the quantitative analysis. Qualitative analysis where you will see the probability and the severance or the impact, probability and the impact, or yeah. And then next you will do the qualitative analysis. Quantitative analysis, difference between the qualitative and quantitative analysis. Qualitative analysis, it will be helpful in getting evaluating the risk. Whereas in quantitative analysis, it will be helpful for those risk scope. What will be my cost associated for that risk, right? Where there are we can avoid the risk, we can transfer the risk, or we can mitigate. You can reduce the risk, right? Again, we have the risk, like risk will be accepted. That means a risk has already occurred. For that, you need to prepare for the contingency plan. Risk is you have identified the risk, but the risk score is less than 27. Then you will be preparing for the risk mitigation plan. Clear? Any questions on the risk? Please, you can ask me, so that I will be because the risk I'm covering more and more, because lots and lots of questions will come onto the risk. So you need to have very clear understanding on the risk concepts, and then yeah, at least 10 to 14 questions will be there, definitely, onto the risk. So my suggestion to you guys, please read risk very carefully. Wherever you get stuck, if you are offline also, you can ping me, then probably I will be able to help you out. It will be straightforward questions on the risk. It's not that complicated. You'll be able to, once you read the question, you'll be able to identify, yes, this is what it is. It will ask on the how you'll plan the risk response, what will be your risk strategy, what will be your how will you calculate the risk, what will be the risk score, how will you calculate the risk score. Risk score will be probability into impact. We'll give you P into I. It will give you the risk score, right? Quantitative and qualitative, definitely one question will be there. That is the difference between the qualitative and quantitative. Quantitative will go for scope variance, schedule variance, cost variance, and scope. These are more associated with the quantitative, because any of the changes comes, you'll have a direct impact on your financials, like schedule variance, effort variance, and then budgeted at cost, right? This we have already studied under the quality. Okay. Any questions onto the risk you wanted to ask, so that I can move forward onto the procurement? Procurement is a very short, very, very small chapter. It's not that big as compared to risk and resource. Shall I go ahead?
Yeah, please go ahead. Once we will read, I will come with your problems, Sabit.
Anytime. Okay. So moving forward onto the procurement part. Procurement, why we will do procurement? Is it necessary? Procurement is necessary for the project manager to know.
Yeah, of course, because everything we cannot do now ourselves.
Now, what role project manager will play in procurement?
Yeah, so get the thing outsourced from
vendor management most.
Correct. It's more on the vendor management. Also, vendor manager, yeah, mostly project manager has to, he is responsible, but he's not accountable for that. Right? But in big organization like in MNCs, right? Project manager is just responsible for that. Whereas in smaller organizations, right, where he is accountable also over there, because he has to see each and everything, top to bottom. Sometimes what will happen, like in smaller organization, he'll spend money from his own pocket, and later on he will claim that just for the interest of the project. He will treat the project by as if he is executing the project for his own thing, right? This happens only very small organizations, like where we'll be having size of the people will be like 10 or 15, something like that. Whereas when it comes to larger organization, bigger organization, there are separate procurement department will be there. So project manager has to liaise with them and then work with the procurement team to make sure whatever the resources are required, it will be onboarded on. And procurement team, they will see the type of a project. Whereas what type of project we have? Two types of project, I told you, right? 3 types of project we have. You remember? Can anyone tell me what type of 3 types of project we have?
One is the waterfall.
Oh, this is not a project, no? That is a process, methodology, which we are executing.
What is your query?
Pardon?
What is your query?
What we are having 3 types of projects. Remember, we discussed earlier.
3 types of project.
How will you say that my project is a fixed price project? There will be 3 types of contracts, right? Fixed price project, then time and material, and the hybrid. You remember we discussed, right?
Yeah.
You're able to recollect, or see when you first thing when you sign a contract, right? When the proposal comes, I will give you or in construction field, I will give you the entire thing. But this is my land. You go and construct a house. You give me the amount, how much you will charge me for, and I'm not responsible. I'm responsible only providing you the money. I'll give you the money. You deal with everything. There is another type of contract which is nothing but time and material. In that one, what you will take, but I will provide you the time. You need to complete the entire project in a duration of 6 months. I will provide you the material. You got my point? You understood?
Yeah.
You studied, right? We
Yes.
discussed this long time earlier, like
The
2 weeks back.
Fixed cost project, variable.
Correct.
Contract based project.
Correct. Those are the things. So procurement team, they will look after that only. what type of project is this? Is a fixed price project, cost, all those things. The plan procurement, then conduct procurement and control procurement. These are the three things we will be doing that. So in plan procurement, what we will do, what to acquire, how to acquire, and when to acquire. At what phase you need to acquire, what to acquire, what are the, you need, what to acquire means, yeah, based on your need and the project. What you will acquire? You will acquire the resources, you will acquire the vendors, right? Sometimes if you need a hardware, software, that you will acquiring, right? How to acquire? You will raise a requisition request, right? You will send a request to your procurement team. Look, I need for my project, I need so and so detail, so and so resources. Please provide me that. When to require, when to acquire? So at what phase? Because so you will not acquire as soon as the project initiated. You will not do that. Project manager will plan based on his schedule. He will say at this point of time, I want to get the vendor to get into picture, vendor to be onboarded, right? So those are the things. So these are the ITTOs for the procurement management plan. So inputs, tools and technologies, and output. Same thing, you go through all, you'll capture all the details in your project plan. You'll mention in the area on the procurement what you are doing that. What are the things here? Scope management, quality management plan, resource management plan, scope baseline. In case not available, then if the scope baseline is not available, then you go ahead and use the SOW. SOW will be formed as a scope for you. SOW means statement of work or scope of work. Clear? Any questions you wanted to ask? Okay. So you'll take a milestone, project team assignments, project requirement documentation, requirement traceability matrix, resource requirements, risk register, stakeholder register, all those details. These are all part of inputs that you will be requiring in order for you to prepare procurement management plan. All right. Wherever it is required, you put those details, you plug in those details and update the procurement management plan. The end output will be your procurement management plan, wherein it will be you will be capturing all the details related to your milestone, related to your scope of work, related to your resource, and the requirement traceability matrix, the schedule, all this quality, what are the risks you have captured, all those things, it goes part of that. Any questions you have? You wanted to ask anything? Okay, then I'll move forward. I told you, right? Contract types. These are the, in fixed price also, we have this, we have fixed price and the time and material and contract cost reimbursement. Cost reimbursement, very few organizations use. I have not seen cost reimbursement project. So what you do in cost reimbursement project, you complete the work, I'll give the money. That's how you do that. So you'll say that, okay, I have completed this. Then what is, can you tell me what is the difference between the fixed price project and to the contract cost reimbursement project?
मेरे उसमें जितना एक्सपेंस है, फिक्स प्राइस में ये होता है कि आप कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को एक लमसम में बात करते हो,
करेक्ट,
और उनको उसी में करना पड़ता है। अगर कुछ भी नुकसान होता है तो उन्हीं को उठाना पड़ेगा, कंपनी को नहीं होगा उसमें कुछ भी शेयर,
राइट,
फिक्स रहेगा कम्प्लीटली।
अंडरस्टूड,
हमारे पास पूरा ये रिएम्बर्समेंट ही चलता था, क्योंकि मैं ओयो होटल में था। जितना
हाँ।
भी काम होता था आपका इंटीरियर का उसका, उन लोग पहले इन्वेस्ट करते थे पॉकेट से, फिर यहाँ से रिएम्बर्समेंट होता था।
तो reimbursement क्या होता है, जैसे आप let's say you are, or you can say Swiggy, right? Or you have something you have ordered, right? Once you deliver, you will make the payment. You spend your money and then you will get reimbursed, right?
अब
That's-
हमारा होटल मेंटेनेंस में ये होता था कि जो हम लोग ऑनबोर्ड करते थे उन लोग को, उन लोग समझे होटल में कुछ प्रॉब्लम है तो उन लोग जाके इंटीरियर वर्क करते हैं, क्लीनिंग का काम करते हैं, फिर वो बाद में पूरा काम होने के बाद उनको टोटल अमाउंट रिएम्बर्समेंट होता था।
बराबर, करेक्ट, या दैट्स ऑल। इसमें क्या आता है, बायर को द रिस्क इज मोर फॉर द बायर, सेलर को कुछ भी नहीं है, because he is not selling, right? So buyer is responsible because he's buying from his own pocket, and then once everything is done, then he's giving to the seller and then getting it reimbursed. Okay, and time and material is, I don't have any liability on the resource. I will give you the resource and the time. So I will give you the resource for 6 months. You get the work done whatever you want. It's up to you. Right? Basically, service organization, they will say like service-based industries like Wipro, Infosys, TCS. Like for them, what they will do, they will give resources on time and material. I'll say, boss, I will give you this resource is available for you for 1 year. And the amount will be fixed, saying that, okay, per month I will charge 50,000 rupees or 1 lakh rupees I will charge for that resource. And it doesn't matter that resource work 8 hours, he work for 10 hours, 12 hours, it doesn't matter. All it matter is to the companies the money. Per month, I am able to fetch 50,000 rupees or not. That's all it matters. Clear?
What is that CPFF, CPIF and CPAF?
Cost price fixed something is that. This is a fixed price contract. FFP is another firm fixed price. FPIF means fixed price incentive fee. So that means the price is fixed. On top of that, if you deliver something, I'll give you the incentive. So let's say, for example, you deliver the project, the cost of the project is fixed for you, but you deliver something value add, then I will give you the incentive for you. Right? Then fixed price with economic price adjustment. It's nothing but price is fixed, but somewhere you need to give some sort of a discount. But economic adjustment, you'll do the adjustment, you'll make that. So that way you call the fixed price with economic adjustment. Then cost reimbursable contracts, cost plus fixed price, cost plus incentive fee, cost plus award fee. You will be giving the cost plus the whatever the fixed fee will be there. On top of that, you will give the cost. You will reimburse. See what will happen, kind of a tip. Your amount you will be fixed, right? You will be $10, you will be $10 or $10 will be. But on top of that, extra amount you will be giving. kind of a cost. Same thing here, and a cost plus incentive fee. You will be giving the incentives. If you achieve so and so, I'll give 10% incentive to you. Award fee means award. There's the kind of a it's how will I say? CP, these two things I'm aware of that. Plus award fee, how they will do that? I don't know. I have to check that. Does anyone, because someone, if you have worked on the procurement areas, so they will be knowing this, how they will give the award fee.
नहीं, उस पे तो मेरा काम नहीं हुआ था। कॉस्ट प्लस जो होता है, हम लोग जो कंस्ट्रक्शन का काम कराते थे, तो
Correct.
मजदूर का तो फिक्स होता है उनका 800
Correct.
500 रुपीज, पर पूरा कंस्ट्रक्शन मटेरियल वगैरह जो भी काम लगता है वो बाद में रिएम्बर्स करते हैं।
हाँ, तो उसके ऊपर थोड़ा बहुत कॉस्ट एक्स्ट्रा डाल के देते हैं
जी।
तो बिकॉज अवार्ड फी मेरे को भी मालूम नहीं है मेरे को। So normally in our IT, we don't deal with cost reimbursable contracts. This all in it happens in probably some other industry like construction industry, but in our IT industry we go with fixed price contracts and time and material. These are the two things we will go with that. Right? Any questions you wanted to ask? So clear, right? That abbreviations FP, FPF, FPIF, FPA.
ये मैं अभी ऑनलाइन देख रहा था, तो जो आपका अवार्ड का है ये मोस्टली गवर्नमेंट बेस प्रोजेक्ट जो होते हैं उसमें ये आपको अवार्ड देते हैं आपके वर्क के ऊपर।
Okay, okay. Okay, understood. Procurement management. See, you remember we discussed right earlier how the selection happens for the project. Let's say whenever the bid has a company has announced that they wanted to implement a product, right? For that, they will ask the companies to send their bids. Like, you remember we discussed this earlier, the complete the procurement, how it happens. We prepare the bid. There will be two types of bid. One is a technical proposal and the other is the cost proposal. Does anyone able to recollect the entire life cycle, how the procurement happens? This I discussed very long back before, 1 month back, like 3 weeks back, I've discussed this. How the selection of your project, or how the selection of your company will happen in real world scenario. So the moment, were you able to recollect, or you want me to reiterate once again?
Small recap is better.
Okay, I'll do a recap. Let's say I want to develop a website, right? I have a budget of $100,000. So what I will do? How I will send out if you see in your ad newspaper, there will be some bidding will be happening, auctioning will be happening, right? Auctioning and bidding will be different. Newspapers newspaper, or you will get some of the onlines, everything. Sometimes you bid for this project, right? So in normal in IT, I am aware of the IT world, how it happens. Let's say a sales team, they will come to know company X, they want to implement, they want to develop a website, or they want to develop a product. So they'll come to know. Then sales team, what they will do, they will go and talk to the company procurement team. I heard that you wanted to develop a website. I have the similar experience with my My organization has similar experience. I carry rich skill sets with my organization. So I'll be more interested in participating in taking up this project. Then procurement team will say, okay, no problem. What we will do, the procurement team will be having vendors. Like you can't directly go and let's say today in Wipro, if I want to, they'll be rolling out the projects. Like, if someone wants to go, I will go and say, boss, I want to execute this project. Give me the project, I will take it and I will execute and I'll give it to you. Will it happen? It will not happen. A vendor has to get registered for that company as a preferred vendor. Then what they will do, they will send out the procurement team, they will send out an email to each and every vendor saying that we have a plan to implement so and so product. So please send out your bidding proposals to us so that they can evaluate. So then sales team, they will get in touch with the procurement manager and get the details, and then the respective stakeholder, they'll have a meetings like a round table discussion or some sort of a meetings, everything. Then they will say, okay, we will will give you the proposal. So in the sales team, then they will talk to pre-sales team. Pre-sales team, they will go gather more inputs, but the inputs not to the granular level. The inputs will be onto the somewhere around 30,000 feet level high. Though along with the architect, he will go pre-sales team visit to the customer, talk to them, and then prepare the technical proposal. Okay, and the sales team, they will prepare based on the inputs from the pre-sales team. They will prepare the commercial proposal. Sales team, right? The sales team, they will say how many people will be requiring, all those things. They will what are the resources that will be required, for that project to complete. So all those details they will take into consideration, and they will come up with a price, saying that if I have to pick up this project, right, I have to get this much of amount of money, then only I will be able to pick up. If not, I will not be able to do that. So that's it. So what they will do, they will come 2 proposals, they will send it to the company. Right? One is on the technical proposal, another one is on the commercial proposal. So technical proposal, that team of the company, like the stakeholder who is issuing the bid, right? They will be having a technical team. They'll open your technical proposal and they will evaluate your technical expertise, and based on their criteria. If you are meeting to their criteria, then they will qualify you. If you are not meeting with your criteria, then they will disqualify, saying that you are not meeting to our standards, so we are disqualifying you for this project. If you are meeting for this project with technical criteria, they will select, okay, go ahead. And once the technical proposal passes, right, with the evaluation criteria, then they will invite all the parties whose technical proposal has been accepted by the company. Then they will showcase their solutions, how they are going to accomplish, what are the resources they are going to have going to onboard. Then all those details they will be mentioning into the once they'll prepare a presentation, and they'll showcase to the company. Once that part is done, then what will do during they will open the bid. Commercial proposals they will open, because everyone has supported the commercial proposal. That commercial proposal, if they will open, whoever commercial proposal is less, they'll give that project to that company. Is it clear? Whoever the least cost, right? Let's say one Ismail has quoted $10, Hafiz has quoted $15, then Bilal has quoted $100. So whoever is least cost, they will give it to him. That is called.
Ismail bhai, not only the cost, the other quality aspect also they have to check. No?
That is what your technical. That is what the first thing technical. No, that's what we'll do that technical. The if the technical is passed, then only you will go for your what you will your commercial proposal will be open. Or else, if you are not qualified for technical, your commercial proposal also gone. So first thing they will do the evaluate onto the technical things. In terms of all parameters, they'll be having a number of parameters, how you are maintaining the quality, all those details, everything they will be having the parameters. They will be having a checklist. They will tick, yes, 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 then okay. In order for you to qualify for a technical proposal to clear, at least 80 points to out of 100, you should get 80. Right? So you are clear, right? How the procurement happens for the project? Yeah. And similarly for your, this is related to the project and similarly to the vendor also. We do evaluate with the vendors also in the same approach, in the same fashion. So 1 minute, I'm getting one call. वालेकुम शबीर भाई, अलग शुक्र बोलिए शबीर भाई। नहीं काम कर रहा था। हाँ नहीं है, जरा ऑफिस में काम था। हाँ भेज दीजिए शबीर भाई। हाँ इस नंबर पे है। जी जी ठीक है। So clear guys, this is how it happens. So we qualify for this vendors and same line in line with your licensing also. If you want licensing, there also we do the qualification. We see that and then we'll purchase. The procurement happens based on your budget, all these details. Correct. The source selection criteria I told you, right? There's are several criteria weighted upon may be used like quality, proposal, all experience, everything. This is called your technical criteria, evaluation criteria. If you're passing on the criteria, then only your commercial proposal will be open, or else they will not open. They will disqualify you. Yeah, I told you, right? If you are having subcontracting, then for subcontracting also you will do the same thing. You will follow the same parameters. So this is what it happens. Bid documents, right? Request for information. Then this is what the sales team will get. Request for proposal. Then buyer decides seller based on the solution. Or a request for quotation, right? These are the things. This is the technical proposal. This is the commercial proposal. RFQ is nothing but quotation, where you will get the price. Then IFB invitation for bid. So your company procurement manager, he will send an invitation to submit RFI, RFP, and RFQ. Clear, guys? This I explained you, right?
Right.
So all the lessons learned register, milestone, procurement, document traceability matrix register, stakeholder register. That's it. So based on that, then you will be awarding the project, and then you'll start from the initiation phase. All those things, you will start the project. So we'll update everything, communication management plan, scope management plan, risk management plan, configuration management plan, cost baseline, all those details we will be updating. So how we'll get that? Bidder conferences, procurement team, they will send that meeting invite to everyone, or they will do the send an advertisements. Currently, earlier days, they used to send an advertisement in the paper saying that they'll place an ad. We want someone to have, or we see in the construction, in the newspaper, they'll say we want to build a road. Please send the bidding. Correct?
Yes.
So those are the details. Pardon? Hello? If someone is not talking, please go on mute. Okay. So all those things, like, based on that, then you will evaluate the terms and conditions. See, you will identify whether it's a fixed price project or the time and material, or another type of, like, cost and cost reimbursable projects. So all those details you will put that. Yeah. So there's not that much. Any questions wanted to ask? Yeah, that's all I have. These all things that we have discussed. If you want, again, once again, I can reiterate, or if you have any questions, I can clarify to you. If you ask any question, I will clarify to you.
Why in this control procurement, earned value analysis here, what is talking about here?
The control procurement, like, at certain point of time, you wanted to control the cost of the project, cost of your budget. You'll be having the budget will be very limited.
Okay, so the work is already started, and based on that, we have to evaluate how it is working.
No, see what will happen. Procurement team, let's say the project has been given to you. All right. So the project value is $100,000, right? So what will happen? Procurement team, they will not release entire amount at one stretch. So they will control your amount, saying that you have delivered the product, okay, on your minutes of on the kickoff project has been done, you will release 10% of the amount. Once you deliver UAT, I will give 25% of the amount. Once you close the entire project, you get the sign off from everyone, you will get the 100% of the amount. That is what is called the control procurement. And they will see that earned value analysis and the trend analysis. They will check that how we are able to basically they wanted to ensure that what are the bid they have released, for that against that bid they are not exceeding more amount. Let's say you have bid for $100,000, but you will come and say at the end of the day saying that boss, I have incurred $120,000. So $120,000 from where it came? What is the earned value for that one? And what is how the trend has happened? What caused you $20,000 extra? So they do the inspection, they do the audits. Then they will release that. That's how you do the controls. Clear? The guys who has worked onto the procurement, they are well aware of this.
What is claim administration? Samjhaiye, please.
Claim administration means you are claiming, right? So, for example, you have delivered the product, you have delivered the one of the module, right? But you want to claim some additional expenses, like your visa charges. You want to claim. You have brought the resources. 1 minute, someone there. So what I'm saying, that additional claims you wanted to claim. Let's say, for example, you brought the resource. If you are executing the project in Saudi, right? You have incurred the additional cost. You have told that resource visa cost is going to be extra, but you will charge on actual basis. Because sometimes what will happen, they will charge some other company, they will charge a profit also, they will charge. That those are the things, those are the details. They'll what they will do based on their mutually understanding. Okay, we have agreed, we'll give you on the actual cost, whatever the visa cost which you have incurred, we'll pay for that. The procurement team will say that, and they will disburse the amount. Those are the controls they'll be putting in place. Hope I answered your query.
But there is a dispute handling now. What is this dispute handling?
Dispute means, let's say you have claimed $100, but company has said, I will give you $80. So there is a dispute, and or someone has said, this I have not agreed on the visa cost. I have not agreed. Why you are claiming onto the visa cost? For the resource you are to deliver your project, I have given you only the project. Headache is yours. The resource has to travel to some place. The company has to take care of the resource travel cost, which I am not responsible. But you are claiming. There is a dispute on that.
And who will resolve?
Who will resolve means you should have been agreed. So that's where you put everything into picture and in your risk response. Everything you need to put that if the resource, if stakeholders, the end client is not providing the visa cost or the travel related cost, you need to bring to your management saying that who is going to pay for that. Whether project is going to absorb the cost or organization is going to absorb the cost. But at the end of the day, customer is not willing to pay that. That internally your management has to handle that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's all we have from on the procurement side. Anything are there? Please, आप लोग उसको study करिए, then come up with the questions that I will be able to have.
What are the questions are in this type of contract?
Procurement, like a fixed price project, then fixed price. I told you, FPIF.
Time and material.
Time and material. Those are the things. Yeah. So with this, today we will end up a little bit early, and we are left with only one chapter, stakeholder. Next week we will not be doing, probably.
Okay.
And stakeholder also very small. If I want, I can cover it today itself. But
no, please, we are on too much.
Okay.
कुछ फिर जल्दी आप फ्री हो जाएंगे, फिर हमें तो आप ज्यादा लंबा समय के लिए आपके साथ रहना है ना।
मैं वैसे भी रहूंगा, मैं वो टेंशन नहीं।
थोड़ा सा ये बता दीजिए आपका जर्नी कैसे रहा प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट, कैसे कब गए, क्या किया आपने पीएमपी प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट लेने के बाद पीएमपी?
मैं स्टार्ट किया मेरा करियर में इन 1997.
विच कंपनी?
I worked with सऊदी में था मैं, अलोतेम में था. So people who are all there in Saudi, they will be knowing Alotem.
Yeah, I know.
Alotem Jewelers. तो उसमें डेवलपर के जैसा था मैं, तो वी बी डेवलपर विजुअल बेसिक पे, उस टाइम पे विजुअल बेसिक था. तो उसके बाद देन आई रिटर्न बैक टू इंडिया. देन और थोड़ा बहुत स्किल्स को एनहांस किया मैं. देन उसके बाद देन आई मूव टू यूएस. यूएस में तकरीबन 6 साल था मैं. There I worked as a completely on the technical role पे ही काम किया मैं. Then when I came back from US, so then I joined Symphony, वहाँ पे भी एक technical role था. Then join, उसके बाद मैं very short duration के लिए काम किया मैं Symphony में. उसके then I moved into Wipro. Wipro में for only I worked only for 2 months only I worked as a technical role. Afterward I got an opportunity to lead a project.
Without PMP, without PMP.
Without PMP, only leading, only lead करने के लिए बोले project को मेरे को. So I was not a project manager. I was just a project lead, where I will be giving the where मेरे को resources दे दिए थे. Then I have to manage those resources, technically as well as little bit of the management work. Then I used to, at that time I used to prepare the effort estimation using different techniques like function point analysis, work breakdown structure. So I used to do that, and then schedule, prepare the project plan. So there I learned that everywhere.
The schedule you are doing in Excel only?
No. I used to do work breakdown structure in Excel, whereas project in Microsoft project.
Okay.
So I've undergone the training. उस टाइम पे मैं था विप्रो में in-house training था. So I went and estimation का technique training था, how to estimate, वो एक training था. Then afterwards और एक training attend किया project पे, Microsoft project पे. So वो एक घंटे का training था. 1 घंटे में कितना बताएंगे, तो 1 घंटे में उसमें चला गया. 1 घंटा it covers estimation and a project, Microsoft project. तो उसके बाद then ऐसे ही करते करते then after 2 years I got into project manager. So at that time also they, from that 2008 they were asking me to write PMP exam. तो मेरा 2008 से पढ़ता मैं, but internally Wipro में there was a there was a course, so agar if you are passed that course, if you clear that exam, it is equivalent to PMI, then you are eligible for to execute the project. In the organization itself, they will mark you as a project manager, and then you will be assigned automatically you will be assigned the project manager jobs, or else you will not be able to do that.
That is some body, only the company's own process.
Company own, company का था, अपना विप्रो का ही था. Wipro related.
Okay.
Wipro related PMI.
Okay.
So that took me. It is based on the same on the PMI only, PMP only. So that exam I cleared in 2011. I cleared that exam. So that also it took me 11 months, 2 years to complete that exam. Twice I failed, and third time I passed, because they will give you only 3 times opportunity. If you are not failing for the third time, then You will not be entitled as a project manager. You will be taken into different role, and you have to move into technical role. So luckily, I passed that exam on third attempt. So that's how my journey began on the project management.
Ismail bhai, how difficult it is for a non-technical and non-project based person to get